And we've got the smoker that just turned on, so we're going to have that happening a little bit later today as we're going to start to smoke some meat. And maybe during the commercial break coming up here in about 10, 15 minutes, I'll head out and start to throw things on and then smoke throughout the show. But got some beverages nearby, and I'm getting ready for baseball. How about you? Oh, what a good day. What a good day. Baseball is here. If you are watching on the MLB Network right now, they're going through baseball throughout opening days throughout history. Everything from all the different presidents that have thrown out first pitches, which, by the way, it was really cool to see that when President Bush was in a Brewers jacket on that opening day of Miller Park, and to watch all of that, and then to watch Hank Aaron against the Reds tie the record on opening day, and that was in Cincinnati, and then he went back to Fulton County Stadium and actually broke the record. So just so cool. He tied it at 7:14, then went over to 7:15 and went from there. And then they're showing all the different history and highlights. And then opening day, the old style Brewers uniforms, the old Milwaukee Braves. And but it's opening day 2021. It is exciting. I'm excited. So today, coming up in about a half an hour, a little bit less, we're going to talk with Kevin Holden from CBS 58. Kevin and I have a tradition since I pretty much came into the state of Wisconsin. We've been talking on opening day. So Kevin is going to join us again from down at the ballpark. We want to get your stories, your opening day stories. And if you did not see it yet, I retweeted it, but Christian Yelich, that's what you want out of the face of your franchise. That's what you want. You want that kind of a video. That's, there was a couple of years ago, the Brewers had a marketing campaign where it was Craig Counsell. It was, I'm coming home. I'm a hometown boy. I want to bring a championship to this city. And it kind of gave you goosebumps. The marketing department had done such an incredible job of getting you inspired for Brewers baseball. And then Christian Yelich, I love the fact that he said, Ebo, do you have that? Do you have the audio of that back in the studio? By any chance?
Yeah, Bill, I can dig it up for you, my man.
If you could, let me know when you got it ready, because one of the things that I think is so cool in this, when I first saw this, and this came out maybe 30 minutes ago, but when I first saw this, I was like, really, I was mesmerized by the video, and then I started to turn it up. And just as I started to turn up the audio, he says, and it's something to the effect of, I sucked last year. And then,
Bill, I got it when you're ready.
You guys, take a listen to this. If you haven't heard it already, this is Christian Yelich in a video that he just released about a half an hour ago.
Everything you do comes with an element of risk. You work your entire damn life to get to this point. But it comes for everybody at some point. I sucked last year for 60 games. You can't expend energy wanting it not to happen. What do I need to do today to be successful? What does today require from me? You have to have that drive inside of you to be the best. Put all my energy in that. When the day's over, I'll be exhausted. Go to sleep, wake up, and do it again tomorrow. Put your head down long enough. At the end of the season, you look up. No matter how it turns out, I want to look back on it and be like, I couldn't have done any better. I couldn't have worked any harder. I gave everything I had.
That's just badass. I sucked last year for 60 games. It's like, look, I didn't earn my money, but this year I'm coming out to kick ass. I mean, that's just, if that doesn't give you goosebumps, I don't know what does. Happy opening day, everybody. Glad to have you on board today. 877-867-1670. Just opening day memories. That's what we're looking for. Opening day memories today. Where were you when? Your best opening day. One of the most memorable opening days you've ever had. That's what we're looking for today. That's what we're looking for. Just opening day memories. That's what we're looking for today. Just bring it all day long today, because I think it's just appropriate. We just need to take a step away from all the seriousness of Packers money talk and Aaron Rodgers. And we will touch on Aaron Rodgers in his picture that, again, he took. It was made public earlier today, or late yesterday, actually. And we can get into all that kind of stuff. That's fine. But I want to talk some opening day. Just opening day. Love opening day. Some of the most memorable stories out of opening day. And I have been doing this for a living. There is some days, there's some things that you think in your career that are really, really cool. I'll never forget the first time I got a chance to walk into a press box. Riverfront Stadium, the old Riverfront Stadium, and it was just terrible. And that was back in the day that you had a really big, thick, 48-pound laptop. You know, I mean, those old days. And that's when you carried it in like a rolling briefcase. You didn't even carry it in a backpack back then. You know, you thought you were cool with a briefcase. So one of my opening days was that. Unfortunately, one of the most tragic things I've ever seen was watching John McSherry call timeout behind home plate and take a few steps towards where the umpires came out of the back of the behind home plate, the little door behind home plate at Riverfront Stadium, and took 3 steps, dropped to his knees, and died right there on the field. One of the most memorable things. I mean, I'll never forget that. Then there's opening day, my first time at County Stadium. Cold day. Players, it was so cool because the players would walk in behind us alongside. They had like that little rope. They put out a red velvet rope for the players to come in. And so we were interviewing the players. It was my first time to really sit down and chat with all these guys because I didn't get here until March. I ended up coming to Wisconsin at the end of January, and I was just going to hang here for a little bit. I signed my deal, and then I went back home. And then I got here the first week of March, and I arrived. And I wasn't even supposed to do anything for about a month, just kind of learn the city and learn the state. And I got the call. I went on the air March 5th. So then I was directing traffic, so to speak, for the radio station, the flagship at the time, out in front of County Stadium. And I'm meeting all these guys for the first time. They don't know who I am, but it was great. It was so cool to get a chance to have fans right there next to the players as they were walking in. And the guys are waving and shaking hands and signing autographs. And it was just so cool. And then the last opening day, which was against the against the Marlins, because the last game of County Stadium was against the Reds, but the last opening day was against the Marlins at the time. And so the Marlins were the opponent. And if I remember correctly, I can't remember the starter, but I remember I interviewed Bob Wickman after the game. I think it was Wickman got the save. But being there at that game, and then the last game at County Stadium, and then the first game at Miller Park. The first game at Miller Park. Big Daddy Dan D'Amico on the mound. You're getting cleared by all the security clearance for the president, going through all the checks that because you couldn't even get near him. You know, and then finally they said, okay, if you stand here, there was like 10 of us. If you stand right here, you know, he's going to come by. And President Bush came by and shook everybody's hand, said hello, talked to you a little bit about the team. I mean, he had been briefed, obviously, but talked to you a little bit about the team and about what an incredible facility Miller Park was, and on and on and on. And then after that, I left the flagship station. I ended up moving on to my own network. And then my first year, I actually got to do it from Hellfair Field, which has kind of been tradition for me except for last year and this year, but for 8 years, we did that. We threw a little party out at Hellfair Field in the atrium there. It was fantastic. And then getting to mix and mingle with everybody, and we went around with a video camera, and we videotaped all the tailgate sites and the most crazy ones, and that was so cool. So just so many memories of opening day. 877-867-1670. What is your most memorable opening day? 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Want to hear from you. 877-867-1670. I want to know your most memorable opening day. Most memorable opening day. This one's from Kinger. Says, have you washed your hand since you shook George Bush's hand? I did. I've washed it numerous times, as a matter of fact. Numerous. Just an FYI. I just thought it was cool meeting the president. Because I met a couple, but I just thought it was cool meeting. Oh, look at that. If you're following us on the live stream, on the Bud Light live stream, the grill is now smoking. The smoker is going. If you're watching on the Bud Light live stream, Little things like this get me excited. Look at that. Oh, slow smoking some meat. I'm going to run down there and put it on the grill. I'll videotape it while I'm down there and post it for you. But, oh, yeah. It's going to be so good. And then just about a half hour before first pitch. Yeah. See, dynamite dropping. Love it. Speaking of that, Evo, what is your most memorable opening day?
Well, Bill, I got to think it's when I was freezing my little nuggets off there outside, and all of a sudden I see out of nowhere the big unit arrives with a heater, and I got to plug it in and not freeze my my ass off.
I do
out
remember
there.
that. You guys were outside. I never understood why you guys were outside. How come you weren't inside?
Well, we do 6 to 10, so they don't have healthier or anything open, so we were outside trying to find a plug-in somewhere, and it was a little cold, but hey, we're soldiers. It was a fun time, man.
It was great.
You, but other than that, had listeners giving us giving us burgers, shots of Tullamore Dew. It was just the atmosphere, being around your fellow man and woman was awesome. And every opening day I've been at.
Every opening day is always special in some way, shape, or form. It's always great. But yeah, I do remember that. I remember when you guys were out there. It was you and Joe, and you had your setup. You guys were sounding great. And the next thing you know, it was. I looked over. I'm like, wow. We had a nice heater, and I have to admit, we had a couple of them, as a matter of fact. Inside the Hell Fairfield atrium. So I'm like, yeah, well, we don't.
Bill, there was another year when we were in your spot inside, and you came in. You're like, yeah, by the way, I'm setting up here. I'm going to be broadcasting here. It's like, oh, yep. And then we scampered away outside again.
That's because you guys, and I did not know, because I thought you guys were going to be there the whole time. And we actually had a party. We had a client party coming in. I'm like, oh God, what do you do?
Hey,
so, but it was at least nice that day.
Yes,
and it was sunny and nice. So yeah,
we came with beers, so we got a little buzz on alcohol blanket. It was all good.
Yeah, it was at least sunny and nice that day. That was one of those days where it's kind of like, and I said, hey, because I even called back to the station. I said, hey, you got Joe and Ebo that are in here, and they're like, yeah, they're gonna have to go. And I'm like, God, how do you do this with any kind of tact, And I'm like, crap. So
well, I get it, Bill. I mean, we're loud individuals. It's a small area, and we're designed and meant for the elements, so we were good.
Joe has that booming resonance voice. He's got that, he brings paint off the wall. So yeah,
exactly. So we absconded outside.
So just baseball wise or bar wise, anything else that comes to mind?
Man, experience being just around people, and the human experience. Just that for me, really. I don't have anything specific of just being there and just having a good time.
Right. Yeah, it's just a party. There's so many times here where I've done the show and then I've gone inside. There's times that I've gone inside and I've told, producers or whatever, just go ahead and take my seat in the press box, because the press box that's amateur day. That's like New Year's Eve.
Yes.
That's when anybody and everybody that never normally goes out, they're out. And to me, it's more about the pregame than it is the postgame, unless there's a dramatic walk-off or something like that. And we've seen that. But, to me, it's more about the experience of opening day. So I've always gotten a ticket, and I've gone and sat outside and just kind of hung out in the stands. Or I'll go, a buddy of mine usually gets the tables, what used to be Friday's front row. He would get 2 of the tables at Fridays. I'd go down and stand down there and just hang out in the outfield and vibe out there and have a good time. But
yeah, I did the same thing. I never wanted to be in the press box. I always wanted to be out with the people.
Right? Yeah, I always wanted to just kind of hang out on opening day. And then the next day is the day you're back in the press box and you're seeing, everybody that normally is there covering the team, and, not all the amateurs. Because then you've got also all the morning show anchors for all the television networks, and they're never there. They're never normally there unless they're doing some kind of a feature story. They're never normally there. The evening anchors are there so they can post pictures and say they were there too, and it's like, that's like New Year's Eve. It's like New Year's Eve combined with what? St. Patrick's Day.
Hell yeah.
You're out there, you're just drinking the drink. Everybody's taking off work, Oh, I've got a toothache. Oh, I've got to get a vasectomy this day. Oh, I'm getting an operation to change me from a dude into a dudette. I can't make it to work today. And then you come in the next day, you're completely hammered. How'd that operation go? Fine. So, and you go on with your life. Call it a day. Let's do this. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Got a lot of stories coming in over the Bud Light live stream. If you want to follow us, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just look for Bill Michaels, blue check mark, that kind of thing. Or on YouTube and Twitch, just look for The Bill Michaels on both of them. You can subscribe there and follow us. The grill, the smoke has subsided. So during the break, I'm going to run down and I'll show you what I'm going to be cooking up today. I'm going to go throw it on the grill. So follow us on the Bud Light live stream. And you can see the video coming up here in just a few. It is opening day 2021, and we are so glad to be a part of it. So glad you're here with us. So glad you're hanging out. Good stuff. Let's do this. We'll step away. We'll take a quick break, come back, and I want more of your thoughts on opening day, your most memorable opening day. That's coming up next on the Bill Michaels Show.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket, this is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Glad to have you. Thanks to those of you watching as well on the Bud Light live stream. And thanks to all of you that are listening to the program throughout parts unknown. Glad to have you. Getting a lot of people that say they can't wait for today's game just to hear Bob Uecker again. Chris says, my best memory was just a couple of years ago. I took 2 of our kids, last-minute decision, pulled them out of school so they could experience it and had a blast. Nathan, Dynamite Drop-In, said you can tell the season's going to go by the first batter. First runner on first, then gets picked off. We personally got hosed on that call. Some good classic Bob Uecker right there. Love that stuff. Good Major League drop-in. Let's go to Mark listening to us. Mark, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
Doing good, Bill. Great subject today. Perfect timing. I've got 2 of them, as a matter of fact. The first one is, I believe it was the early 90s. I was sitting out in center field with 3 of my buddies, and it was baseball giveaway day.
Oh, boy.
And when somebody threw a baseball out in center field, and the grounds crew guy went to pick it up and started running back towards center field. And then all of a sudden, it just started hailing baseballs. And you couldn't believe it. Joe Garner got on the PA and told everybody to knock it off. And it must have taken a half an hour before everything got all cleared up. And it was quite a sight, Bill, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I do remember that. God, I remember watching a highlight of that. What year was that? Because that was like early.
I'm thinking like early 90s,
Yeah.
92, something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say it was early
And,
90s,
I still
thought.
have the baseball.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I still have the ball. I wasn't one of them that threw it out into the outfield there.
Oh,
so.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
And then another one, if I could do real quick, though, was 1978. I was with my dad between Edgerton and Milton on a farm, and Bob Uecker was talking, and he goes, and now up next is Paul Molitor, and he is going to be one heck of a player for the Brewers for years to come. And boy, he hit it right on the head.
Yes,
I
he
will
did.
never forget that either.
Yes, he did. You're
Never
absolutely
forget
right.
that.
Fantastic stuff. Is that it?
That's it, Bill. Thank you.
You the man. Appreciate it. Thanks for giving us a
As you
buzz.
know, Monty, Vaughn's been working on a couple of new pitches, the Eliminator and the Humiliator, to complement his fastball, the Terminator. I heard that. Dynamite drop-in, Monty. That broadcast school has really paid off.
I love that stuff. I love it. Love it. 877-867-1670. Your opening day, your best opening day story. Your best opening day story. Our buddy Stephen Richfield said, happy opening day. Any opening day is a great day. Being an older listener, I'd like to share with you my most vivid memory of an opening day. It was 1979. I was a senior in high school. And yes, 7 of my buddies and I skipped school, had some tickets for the game. The weather was cold, windy, and a lot of rain. We went to a county stadium. And my buddy's dad's work van, he was a carpenter, we somehow got the grill lit in the pouring rain, started cooking the burgers. It wasn't long before we realized we didn't bring any cooking utensils. So being the inventive teenagers that we were, we began to search for a spatula. One could not be found. So we sterilized a rip saw with a beer and proceeded to flip the burgers. Hell yes! A rip saw right there. The rain actually began to pick up, and as we started walking down the aisle, the guy in a wetsuit, complete with snorkel, face mask, and flippers, was near us. It was so funny to watch him walk through the aisle in the flippers and the asphalt. When he did a face plant and it shattered his face mask, the game obviously got rained out, but the experience will forever make me laugh. That is awesome. That is awesome. That's our buddy Stephen Richfield. Steve, that is great. I've never in my life, I've seen Santa Clauses, I've seen Easter bunnies, I've seen leprechauns, I've seen people dressed as players at baseball games. I once saw Father Time. I saw people dressed as their favorite player. But I have never seen anybody in a wet. So that's right up there. That's a hell yeah right there. That's good stuff. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, do it. Rick Harris said, I went to Reds opening day with my grandfather when I was like 8. The only thing I recall was Pete Rose sliding headfirst into home plate. He was called out, but the catcher paid the price for it as Rose pummeled the dude. How many times did that happen? Rose was famous for that. I mean, Ray Fosse was probably the most famous pummeling of a home plate catcher in almost catcher history, short of Madison Bumgarner, when he ended up, or not Madison Bumgarner, Buster Posey, when he snapped his leg. But remember, Rose did it in an All-Star game and ran Fosse right over. Fosse was an All-Star and never was the same after that because he separated his shoulder, and his career was pretty much done. That was it. What else do we got? Sam says, awesome, you met GW. Yep. There's been a couple of presidents that I've seen. I've never met numerous presidents, but I've seen numerous presidents. 2007, Mark says, Ben Sheets starts against the Dodgers, throws a 2-hitter. We won 7-1. We were stuck in traffic on 94 by State Fair Park for 3 hours before the game started. We didn't move for 2 hours. Trunks were popped open along with the beers right there on the interstate. We ended up parking at State Fair Park and walked to the stadium because the lots were overrun or over from the previous season. What? The lots were overruling from the previous season. Okay. Well, there you go. Absolutely. James says the nice thing about the movie Major League, it will always immortalize County Stadium. That you are correct. Karen, how you doing? Karen says hi. Jared says hi. Rick says hi. Pat says hi. Go Brewers. It's that kind of a day. By the way, the Mets and the Nationals game today appears to be postponed because of COVID. Opening day. How about that? Talk about just a downer. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. The Mets and Lindor, by the way, did you see this? Agree to a $341 million contract. The New York Mets and their shortstop, Francisco Lindor, 10 years, $341 million. Now, remember, in Major League Baseball, that's guaranteed. The third largest based on total value in Major League Baseball history, trailing only the Angels' Mike Trout, who signed for $426 million. Here's what gets me: $426.5 million. $426.5 million. Why get the half? Why not just go 427? And then there's the Dodgers' Mookie Betts, 365. The Mets widely expected to sign Lindor to a long-term extension after acquiring him in that All-Star before the four-time All-Star in a blockbuster trade with the Cleveland Indians in the offseason. So there you go. They come to a deal there. How we 877-867-1670. If you want to chime in, please feel free to do so. The Orioles and the Red Sox today postponed. The Orioles and the Red Sox postponed already. And we've got other news breaking that there could possibly be a postponement as well with another contest. So the Mets and the Nationals. We'll wait and see. Let's do this. We'll step away. We'll take a quick break. Let's do this. When we come back, I'm going to touch base. We'll talk to Kevin Holden. And also, I'll give you the video of what's about to be grilled. We're going to smoke it today. We're tailgating today during the show. Fired up about all of this. I just am. Kevin Holden, CBS 58 out of Milwaukee. Kevin is going to join us coming up next on the program. It is opening day 2021. Get ready. Enjoy yourself. It's going to be a good time. More right after this.
High fives, Wisconsin.
Gina Della from Pella, what's the celebration?
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin was just named NARI's Distributor of the Year.
That's a big deal.
You're not kidding, but there's more. The International Builders Show just named Pella's new Easy Slide Operator Best Window and Door Product of the Year.
Another Pella innovation that eliminates the repetitive cranking motion on casement and awning windows with an easy slide.
A real blessing for those with hand and wrist issues.
Why crank your windows when you can easy slide, right?
But there's still more.
Oh, you mean based on the 2019 Consumer Survey on leading national brands that Pella is rated #1 for highest value, highest quality.
Yes, but there's still more. Now get 5 years, no interest, plus 5 months, no first payment.
Pella Now, pay pay later. High fives all around.
But only through March 31st. Set your free consultation today at PellaWI.com/radio or 855-PELLA-WI.
For details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
On the Bud Light live stream, I'm going to show you coming up here in just a few. I'm going to show you what we're grilling today. We got a little baseball fair and some nice beef fare, and I'll show you that coming up here shortly. But welcome back. It is opening day 2021. The Brewers getting set to take on the Minnesota Twins, coming to Miller Park or to American Family Field, which is going to be a habit that's going to be difficult to break for a little while. But joining us now is my traditional guest on opening day, and that is from CBS 58, sports director Kevin Holden, now joining us. Kevin, how you been, buddy?
Man, Bill, this is it really is a holiday. It's a passage kind of day because, for one, we all made it to opening day, and I think that means something more this year than it has before. But the other is, there's this thing shining in the sky. It's really weird. It's this very bright sort of ball. I think I saw it last in like September, so I'm pretty happy about that too.
So hopefully that is the sun shining on the season that is about to be befall us here in Milwaukee and throughout the state of Wisconsin. So give me your optimism, give me your thoughts on this team, and then we'll kind of go position by position.
I think that this may be one of David Stern's finest moments in an off season because I think a lot of people around baseball, looked overall at the Brewers off season and thought, well, okay, there really wasn't much there. The Brewers didn't do a whole lot. And then you come back and you look at this team and you think, well, they just added Colton Wong, so they've got terrific defense now up the middle. That's as an old schooler, I kind of like that. This idea of Gold Glove type defense at second and short. You got Jackie Bradley Jr. This depth in the outfield is good, and then you start to realize that a lot of last year was Christian Yelich not hitting for the 2 months he was in the lineup and Lorenzo Cain opting out. And the Brewers still made the postseason. It was not the prettiest thing in the world, but they still did make the playoffs last year. So I feel like if people are sleeping on this Brewers team, they may sneak up and surprise some people in the National League. It's a pretty good bunch.
I like the fact that they have got depth. You mentioned Jackie Bradley Jr. You obviously have Lorenzo Cain that would be in center. You look at what's going on in left field with Yelich and right field with Garcia. And you've got another Gold Glove that can come in for defensive prowess. He can lead off if you need him to. I mean, there's so many different things that they can do. And I think you're going to have some good power numbers coming out of the outfield as well. I'm not overly concerned specifically about the corners like a lot of people are, even though you're not going to get a lot of power out of the corners unless Keston Hiura really starts to light it up. I think you're going to get good numbers, though, power numbers and on base percentage coming out of your outfield.
Yeah, that group, and you have to say it as a group because it really is a 4-for-3 situation. 4 guys that could start for most teams and only 3 spots, on a daily basis. But that group of 4 is just a great deep group of bats. The other thing that's interesting is flexibility because through all these off-season moves and what David Stearns has done, he can put a lineup out there like the one he has today for opening day that alternates lefties and righties. So, that makes it a little tougher. I mean, we're out of the one batter era for pitchers, but it does make it tougher for the opposing manager because that lineup is literally left, right, left, right, left, right, all the way down. I think there's flexibility there too. And I kind of agree with you on the corners. And Keston Hiura will learn at first base as he goes. I think that won't be that much of a problem. And if Travis Shaw can find some kind of magic over at third base, then yeah, this team is a 1 through 7 deep kind of offense. It's pretty good. You mentioned third base. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of both Travis Shaw and Orlando Arcia over there. Don't you think? Yeah, and so it goes back to the defensive thing because you've got Wong, of course, at second. You'll have Arcia if he plays short, if he plays third. Either of those bats will be there, and it's going to help from a defensive standpoint, what they would call in this day and age a run prevention standpoint. That would be the shiny new sabermetric term for it. But I think Arcia could get some playing time at third. And I'd love to see that bat come around too, although I know after years we're kind of grasping at straws with that. But when Arcia has gotten his feet right in the batter's box, when he's done well at the plate, he's been a pretty good hitter for this team. So maybe if you get that Arcia, maybe he steals even more starts, maybe some against righties away from Shaw.
What do you think? Do you make anything? Because spring training numbers to me are so mythical because a lot of times they just don't hold up. There are people that start off on fire, and those are your regular everyday players, and they give you hope. But then you take a look at a guy like Keston Hiura, started to give you the power numbers in spring training. Do you think that the way he has looked, not only at the offensive side of things, but defensively, the way he's really kind of adapted to first base? Do you kind of get the feeling you're looking at a guy ready to have a breakout season and kind of build upon what he did a couple of years ago?
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it, because Hiura is, after a few years now in the big leagues and a little bit of adjustment period to big league pitching, that sort of thing, he's the kind of guy that could develop that extra part of this game. I mean, he hits for some power, but he's not, I don't think you'd say he's known for his power at this point, but it's something that could come along for him. He's still very young, and it reminds me a little bit of the path of an NFL player, where that third year is the year where you start to look at other parts of his game to develop. And here is just such a natural hitter, such a smart hitter, that extra time in the league, now that he's been up for a little while, he's been around the league, seen the pitching, like it could jump for him, and the power numbers could jump for him. And I just think as just a heads up, smart, instinctive kind of ball player, that the first base footwork will come around. It's not the easiest thing in the world. I think it's tougher than people think, but I think he'll pick it up. And if that's the case, yeah, you're looking at superstar Hiura. That time is probably here.
The pitching staff, we know what Woodruff and Burns can do, so we're just kind of going off of paper there. But who's kind of the linchpin to that? Is it Freddie Peralta actually getting some success as a starter rather than as a reliever? Is it Hauser? Is it Anderson? Who really needs to kind of do something, I'm not going to say special, but kind of live up to expectation for that rotation to really be that good?
Yeah, you've hit on what I think is one of the keys for the Brewers to be not just good, but like October fun kind of good, is they've got to get a third starter that can be competitive, that you can throw out there in a playoff series. And Freddie Peralta is that guy for me, because Peralta is another guy that when you've seen him at his best with the right ball, just pitch done, the stuff is electric. He can really get some things done in the big leagues. He did it right off the bat in his debut in Colorado, his first start a few years back. And it made me think that, again, somebody that spent some time with the team over the last few years, that's starting to adjust, starting to get a little bit of experience on him, that he could step in. I think that's your guy. I think you can look at, if you're thinking about September, October in a pennant race, Woodruff, Burns, Peralta, if you can get 1, 2, and 3 and they're hitting on all cylinders, you can find another starter if you need a fourth one, but those 3 will be the key to matching up with some of these other teams come playoff time.
What do you the conundrum for everybody seems to be, what are they going to do with Josh Hader? What are they going to get? If they're in the thick of things, I don't see them trading away Josh Hader. And in fact, I see them going after maybe a piece or two that's needed. Don't you?
Oh, the thing that I thought was interesting was that they've kept saying during the spring, you've heard David Stearns mention this, that there's some flexibility. In other words, if they want a little money, if they decide that there's somebody that they need to dig into the pockets just a little to pick up, that they can do it. And that's part of what this splash, I won't call it a splash-free off season, but it's part of not spending crazy amounts of money has given David Stearns his flexibility to do this during the year. I 100% agree that if you're talking about a first-place team or a competitive playoff team, when you get to June, July, I don't see Hader going anywhere, because the Brewers have clearly valued this bullpen and what it's meant. Devin Williams setting up Josh Hader is a dream scenario if they're both pitching to their capability. So, I think they're buyers. I mean, I know it's crazy to say on April 1st, but I think if they're competitive, they're buyers, that there is no selling if they have a chance to make it. It'll be a 4th straight year if they make the playoffs. This never happened to this franchise before, and they can't let that slip away.
Kevin, what is your overall win projection for this team this season before I let you go?
Let's go Yeah, I've been batting this around. I really honestly feel like they're an above 500 team. I'm going to go 86 or 87 wins maybe. And in the Central of a few years ago, that might not have gotten it done. In the Central of 2021, I think it gets it done. 87, and I think that's going to be enough to win the Central and get them in the playoffs another year. And if that happens, man, October is going to be a blast.
It is going to be fun. Yeah, 87 wins, winning the Central. Wow, okay. I might follow you down that path. I actually, because I haven't given my prediction yet, but I'm saying 88 wins this year. That's the watermark that I'm circling. But I think 88 gets you second, not first, in the National League Central. I got the Cardinals winning 89 or 90, and then maybe the Cubs about 3 games behind the Brewers, and then the Reds and the Pirates fighting it out for futility in the basement.
Yeah, I think you're with the Cardinals. One, they're the Cardinals. They'll always be there, and they've added Nolan Arenado, who's great. And I was just looking at the Cubs opening day lineup, and you know what? It's been fun to trash the Cubs all off season. They're going to give people trouble.
Yeah.
You have Rizzo, you still have Chris Bryant, you still have Javi Baez. I understand it's not 2016, but don't think that the Cubs are going to be like 15 under 500. They're going to be tough.
Yeah, I think they're going to be better. I just think that they're pitching. They're relying on a lot of people that had great seasons a while ago. And then they get rid of Darvish. They get rid of Lester, kind of that fatherly anchor that was in that rotation. I'm still not sold on Kimbrel being their closer. So I think they've got – and their bullpen, I think, is just nowhere near as good as what the Brewers have. So I think that's going to be the Achilles heel of that team is if you get through the starters a little bit, you get into that bullpen, I think you're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, I don't think that you can rely on Alec Mills to throw no-hitters.
Right? All right, buddy, you be good and have a great opening day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bill, man, I love that we're here. Great that we're back to opening day. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, pal. Talk to you. There you go. Kevin Holden from CBS 58 in Milwaukee joining us. I promised those of you over on the Bud Light live stream, take a look. This is what I am grilling up today. I just was out there during the commercial break before I brought in Kevin. That is the Al Capone roast right there. And that is all the, I'll tell you what's in that when we come back because we're late for a break. And that is the mushroom caps as well. So I got the mushroom caps. Hot dogs I'm going to throw on the grill as well. But I'll run that video because off my phone here real quick. There we go. So that's the Al Capone roast, the mushroom caps stuffed with Italian sausage. Little bit of parsley, a lot of Parmesan cheese on there. The Italian sausage stuffed mushroom caps. Oh, so good. So good. Threw that on the grill here about, during the bottom of the hour break and then just before we went to Kevin Holden. So that's what is on the grill right now. And I'm going to throw some hot dogs on out there just for myself and the dogs coming up here shortly. It is opening day 2021. I want to know what your best opening day story is. That's what I'm looking for, your best opening day story. I want to know what you're thinking today on a day in which finally not only is baseball back to somewhat a sense of normalcy, but in addition to that, you've got fans in the stands. So anxious, so anxious. Got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Summers in Wisconsin are simply spectacular. Tailgates, picnics, weekends on the lake, or just sitting around the fire pit with neighbors, enjoying some great conversation. Yeah, well, your official convenience store of summer, Quick Trip, is celebrating with the lowest legal beer prices on your favorite 24 and 30 packs all summer long, including Bud Light, Busch Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light. Quick Trip, convenience and low prices. Like the lowest prices on 24 and 30 packs? Quick Trip, big on fresh, big on summer.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
So many different ways. So, back from break. Glad to have you. And thanks so much as always. Thanks so much as always for taking a listen to the program. I am Bill Michaels. We got a lot going on today. We're grilling out today. As I showed you before, for those of you following over on the Bud Light live stream, I just threw the Al Capone roast out there. Oh, so good. Just threw the Al Capone roast out there. I get a lot of questions. So, as to what is in an Al Capone roast. So I got to go to the master here, Robert Specialty Meats, and they're the ones that that I buy it from. And so Al Capone roast is made up of boneless pork loin, beef tenderloin. It's rolled up. Then there's fresh Italian sausage, pepperoni, Genoa salami, hard salami, mozzarella cheese, provolone cheese, and then they season it with a bunch of Italian seasonings. And it's all rolled up and tied together. And then you throw it on the grill. You get that thing to about 160 degrees on the inside. You put the probe in there. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. It is so good. It is so good. The one thing about cooking it on the smoker is as it gets hot, that mozzarella and provolone cheese begins to drip out of the middle, and it'll drip on the grill grates. Oh, you can hear it. Listen to that. Oh, that sounds so good. That sounds so good. Yes. There it is over on the live stream. That's what I just put on the smoker. There it is, all wrapped up. But, and I know some people like to put it like on a skillet or something like that in the smoker. That's fine, but I love the char grill marks. There's something about charring that thing with the grill marks that as you bite into it, you can taste it. That is so good. So between that, the Italian mushroom caps, and then I'm just having your good old traditional hot dogs. The good old traditional hot dogs. Got some of those. Myself and the boys as well. My dogs. Me and the dogs. And I've got it set for that thing to be ready to eat at about we'll do it in a couple of hours because I want to do it before we lose a lot of you on the network. So we'll do it maybe coming up here in about an hour and a half. But, oh, man, that Al Capone roast. So good. That is so good. Good stuff. Let's do this. We're going to step away. We're going to take a quick break. Come back. And, oh, man. God, it's so good. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is the Wisconsin Sports Zone Update.
Well, we have made it. Opening day is here, and the 2021 baseball season begins as the Brewers welcome in the Minnesota Twins to American Family Field with Brandon Woodruff on the mound opposite of Kenta Maeda for a first pitch at 1:10. Excitement is running high. Here's more from the Brewers president of baseball operations, David Stearns.
Given some of the performances we had last year, having guys going into the regular season with a really good frame of mind, with confidence, with belief in themselves and each other, I think there is a degree of importance to it. I know as well as anyone that this can all change in one direction or another after a week. So I recognize that, but I do think we've got a number of players on both sides of the ball who are feeling really good about themselves.
To the NBA, the Milwaukee snapped their streak. Kumbo and they would combine to score 53 points, grab 18 rebounds, and dish out 10 assists as the Deer would take on the Lakers 112-97 at the Staples Center. Milwaukee will continue its 6-game road trip in Portland on Friday.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
When a company only does business in Wisconsin, that's Wisconsin Strong. Rural Mutual provides all lines of insurance, including commercial, farm, home, and auto. And your premiums stay right here to keep Wisconsin strong. Local agents, local underwriters, local claims adjusters.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Badgers defensive coordinator Jim Leonard met with the media yesterday and explained why he turned down the Packers. It was unfinished business.
I came here wanting to win a national championship, right? I came here wanting to win the Big Ten as a player, right? Nothing's changed as a coach, right? We haven't done that since I've been back. So the goals haven't changed, right? I feel like we have a group that can accomplish that.
The Badgers are in spring ball now. Their season starts September 4th against Penn State. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Bill Michaels Show. We are glad to have you. Today is opening day 2021. We made it. Some of us made it. Some of us didn't. And I'll tell you about that coming up here in just a moment. But what we're doing is talking about your best opening day memories. This is just a fun day today. I mean, there's other things we can talk about for sure. And we can give you some, newsworthy notes during the day. But today is a day just, opening day memories. That's what we're looking for, opening day memories. But some news and notes that do need to be discussed. The Mets opener against the Nationals postponed due to COVID issues. The Nationals have 5 players that have tested positive for COVID. So that's not good news already, right? On opening day. That's sad. And then you've got the Red Sox and the Orioles. Their opener has been postponed because of rain, torrential rains. So they're going to get it going tomorrow. But the Nats and the Mets, they have been postponed today due to COVID. The Red Sox postponed today with the Orioles because of rain. Meanwhile, the Brewers' first pitch today gets up at 1:10. 1:10 today. The first pitch of the season will be at Yankee Stadium. The Blue Jays taking on the Yankees. Then later, right after that, about 5-10 minutes after that, the Tigers hosting the Indians will get underway. Then the Brewers, they will be playing, obviously. And then after that, you've got the Braves and the Phillies with their first pitch. Cincinnati and the Cardinals in Cincinnati get underway, so giving you a little bit of a preview as to what's going on in the National League Central. Like I mentioned, the Pirates and the Cubs get underway at 1:20. The Cardinals and the Reds are at 3:10 will be the first pitch. And then after that, Diamondbacks and Padres, Dodgers and Rockies, Rays and Marlins, Rangers and Royals. Then later on tonight, the late games, the White Sox are on the road taking on the Angels. That's 9:05 first pitch Central Time. 9:07 would be the Astros and the A's. And then the late game tonight, the Giants on the road taking on Seattle. So that is all coming up later on today. But you got baseball, you got the Cardinals and the Reds, the Cubs hosting the Pirates, and then the Brewers, they are hosting the interleague matchup with the Minnesota Twins at Miller Park today. So there you go. That's the full rundown as to what's going on today. Doug says, my wife and I took our 3 kids out of school to attend the home opener on April 4th, 2003 against the Giants when a guy approached her in the 4th inning and gave her 4 tickets for the Diamond Box, 116 row 2, which is right there next to the Brewers dugout. You are 100% correct. And he and his family, they were leaving early. The usher looked skeptical, but she showed him the tickets, and they were seated. My wife and the kids sat and watched the rest of the game with the friends and family of the Seeligs. They still talk about that to this day. That is cool. That is cool. I like that. That's a great story. That's really good. David said, I heard the Mets and the Nats postponed today. Yes, postponed today because of COVID. You are indeed true. Tim says, I heard the Brewers game today has been canceled. There was issues with the plumbing. And then he realized today's April 1st. Thank God it's April Fool's Day. It is April Fool's Day. I hate April Fool's Day because there's always some story that catches fire and you're like, oh my goodness. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, yeah, I forgot. It's April Fool's Day. And then you go, oh, I'm such a dumbass. And then people laugh at you. Oh, I got you to think about it. And then you just think about it and you say, well, I hate you. So there you go. For those watching on a live stream, it's tough to see. I can see it live out of the window, but where from your vantage point, it's tough to see. The smoker is a smoking. The Al Capone roast is on. We are grilling and tailgating during the show today. Love this stuff. Do you have plans? Max says to me, he says, what are you going to do when you get off the air? Are you just going to sit there and eat and watch the game? Actually, no, I'm not. Kristen is taking the day off early from her job. So she is going to meet me here at the studio. And then we're booking back towards Milwaukee. And no, we're not going to opening day. There is a cigar club. And they are having a tailgate today for the game. Unfortunately, I'm on the air until after the game starts, but she has taken the day off early from the bank, and she is going to pick me up, and then we are heading over to the cigar club where they have an 85-inch big screen, and they're grilling out brats, hot dogs, beer, everything else going along with it, and we're heading over there. So we're gonna do that. So that is the rest of my day today, since I can't be actually at opening day and they're not allowing our broadcasts out there. So that's what I got going on. What is your best opening day story? 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. What's your best opening day story? What you got going on? Want to know. What you got going on? This is from Al. Al writes in the email inbox, says, I was standing outside of Old County Stadium with my son, and a guy walks over and says, "Here, do you want a batting glove, kid?" I look up. It's none other than Robin Yount. Robin was so good with the kids. He always shook hands with the adults, but he seemed like he was more comfortable with the kids, thus the name The Kid, I guess. But he gave my son a batting glove on his way into the ballpark. Once he got inside, we were thrilled to watch him get a couple of hits in the game. After the game, we were waiting outside, and he took a couple of minutes, noticed my son again, and then signed the glove. Best opening day ever. Al, I love stories like that. I really do. And Robin's that kind of guy. He's a really good guy. Really, really good guy. This is from David. David says, best opening day ever. Sat in the park, drank Miller beer. In the parking lot, drank Miller beer. Tailgated. That was back in the days they used to bring the old semis down there for the bars, and you could tap beer right there in the parking lots. Got so hammered, I fell asleep in the trunk of my buddy's car. They threw blankets over me, barely closed the trunk. Somebody came by and must have thought that they didn't close their trunk tight, closed it. I woke up in the trunk of my buddy's car. When my buddies came out after the game was over, they got in the car figuring I had got up and left and closed the trunk, only to start the car, wake me up, and then I started banging on the trunk in the back seat. Finally, they let me out. Wow. You got so hammered you passed out in the trunk of a car. You missed opening day. Somebody locks you in it, and then you had to bang on the seat and the trunk and the metal just to be able to get out. I was not here for those days. I didn't get here until 1999. And by then, they had eliminated because the bars used to throw some big parties. Bars pretty much had unlimited tickets. So the bars would buy massive amounts of party tickets for opening day. And every bar would have like their own section. And then as time went on, they started to eliminate that and make it more open to the public, because it really did. It was like a giant bar. It was kind of a drink and drown. But isn't that what opening day is? You know, it's like New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and St. Patrick's Day all rolled up into one, right? Isn't that kind of what it's supposed to be? Chris says, could you imagine if somebody had actually opened up the trunk? They would have thought that he was dead. That right? If you're passed out in the trunk, they would have thought it was a mob hit. So somebody killed this guy on the way into the ball game. And then threw him in the trunk of a car. That's so classic. That's so good. Jackson says, my most memorable opening day was catching a home run from Richie Sexson. My buddies said it would be a great seat sitting out in the bleachers, and I ended up catching it in my hat, did not spill a drop of beer. Everybody in the section started buying me beers because of the great play. Got so hammered, threw up on myself walking across the bridge. Wow. Isn't that a pleasant memory? Why do the best memories involve things that you can barely remember? You know? I like Al's story about his kid getting the batting glove from Robin Yount and Robin signing it after the game. I like that. That's fantastic. But some of these are like, are you kidding me? 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Phone lines are wide open. Your best opening day or the best party you've ever been to on opening day. Or the best party you've ever been to on opening day. And a reminder, as Mark says, will you be on the radio station still? A lot of the affiliates that we have carry Brewers baseball. So if I'm not there, you can either go to those stations' websites or go to madcitysportzone.com and click on the link to listen live, and I'll be there. madcitysportzone.com. That's madcitysportzone.com, and you can find us there. So I just want to remind you of that. I got another one here. This one's from Bill. Bill says, best opening day was a couple of years ago. It was the last time we actually had a good opening day before COVID. It was a year full of optimism, and I actually ran into some Cubs fans that were walking through the parking lot that had free tickets from a company that they worked for. They were wearing their Cubs jerseys. We ended up hating each other first, and then had beers together later by the end of the day. Oh, I see what he's saying. Left them with the bill and Fridays, and then went and sat in our seats. Well, there you go. Nice. Mitchell says, that 2000, working in St. Louis, took the day off, watched the crew rough up the Cardinals at Old Busch Stadium. Old Busch Stadium was one of those cookie cutters. Old Busch Stadium was was like Riverfront. It was like the Vet in Philadelphia, Three Rivers in Pittsburgh. Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium was the same. There was a whole bunch of those stadiums. They were the cookie cutter, kind of multi-use stadiums. And that's they still have that type of stadium out there in Oakland. It's so antiquated. It's so bad of a stadium. But I remember those stadiums. Yeah. What else do you got? Because if you could hit a fly ball, like when I would go to when I was a kid, and I used to go to games at Riverfront Stadium. You could hit a fly ball, and if it was deep enough, it would hit that carpeting, which was basically the AstroTurf. It would hit the AstroTurf and just bounce over the wall. If you hit a fly ball high enough and far enough, you could hit it still in the field of play, and it would just bounce over the outfield wall. Because under that, it was AstroTurf carpeting just flat laid out on asphalt. That's all it was. I mean, it was as hard gets. It was as hard as hard gets. My high school football team, we played down there. We had a rival, which was Western Hills High School, and played down there for years and years and years. But I got a chance to play down there one time on that old AstroTurf. Oh, it was terrible. It's terrible. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. This one's from Ken. Says, I was at the 1980 opening day game when Sixto hit the grand slam, cold snow flurry, 6 buddies from the first year in college. It was awesome. Sixto Lascano hits the grand slam, and I remember Euchre's call on that, as a matter of fact. So good. Great memories. What is your memory of opening day, and what are you doing today? What do you got going on today? What else? If you're a baseball fan, what are you doing? Are you taking a half day, or have you just taken the day off? Are you getting together with your friends, or because you work at home, you're doing what I'm doing? You're doing some grilling out. What do you got going on today? When we're talking here about opening day memories. And by the way, during the commercial break, I'm going to run down and see how the grill is. I'll videotape it and pop it up there for you. See how we're looking in the grill so far as the tailgate rages on. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show, which is coming up. I want to know your stories. Best story. Looking for right now. Either your best one or what do you got going on today? Hang in there. A lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's coming up on the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. What a terrific day today. Opening day 2021. Opening day 2021. I am completely thrilled. Just, I love opening day. I wish we were there. Wish we were at American Family Field right now doing the show inside the atrium at Hellfair Field, greeting and meeting everybody, and 30 to 40,000 people there milling around, enjoying themselves. Next year, it'll happen. It'll happen. This one is from Nick, who says, do you think that they're going to have full capacity at all this season? I do. I really do. I know that I know it's being publicly condemned right now down in Texas for opening things up and having full capacity at the ballpark. But I really do. I think with the vaccination, people that have already had it, it's funny because I had COVID back in, God, I want to say March, April, maybe April or May of last year. I had a very, very mild case of it. And there was about 10 people around me that got it. Like one person had it, and then it spread through like my group of friends. And I had seen everybody in the same week in which everybody was coming down. At first, you thought maybe because of the time of year and the rain and it's warming up. And I know that the pollen and the mold counts are so high. Everybody kind of thought, it's allergies. And then everybody started calling each other saying, hey, I can't taste anything. Can you taste anything? I can't taste anything. I can't smell anything. Do you smell anything? No. And then, one of our friends got a fever that went to about 101 for like a day, and then it went back down. And now they're all feeling really great again. And they're like, Bill, how did you not get it? I never got it. I've already had it. And I know this whole thing about, it only lasts 3 months. I don't know, but I never got it. So I think between the herd immunity, people that have already had it that aren't getting it, the fact that so many vaccinations are being made available and they're opening things up wide open come next week for vaccinations. I just think that we're going to be back to, I don't want to say full normalcy, but I would say normalcy as far as we could possibly tell as to what it is, probably by July. I know that they're moving forward with State Fair. I know that the NFL says they will have full stadiums this year. I know that college football has already stated that they want to have full stadiums. I know that baseball wants full stadiums by July and August, and they want full crowds in for playoff games this year. So my assumption is probably by June or July, you're going to see an elevation in the amount of people they're going to allow in. Like I said, there's counties throughout the state that have completely opened up. And there's some businesses that I saw yesterday have taken down the masks requirement. If it's not mandated in your township, they've taken it down to come into their stores. And I think for those that really do have a genuine concern or a fear of this, do you? And I've said that all along. Do you stay with the mask or whatever it is you want to do? And for everybody else, as things open up, enjoy your life. I got a buddy of mine that works over at Freighter Hospital that said, the ICU, the hospitalization, everything way, way down. It's even though they've reported these spikes and such, I think it's because more people are getting tested. But they said, no, we're good. We're good. So hopefully everything continues to trend in the right direction, and we're good. But I think that we're probably going to see people in the stands, more people in the stands come June, July, maybe full stands by August. So, but yes, I believe so. Hey, I went down during the break, and I told you I'd check on it. And so it's up. If you're following me on the Bud Light live stream, there it is. Put the hot dogs on. Got the mushroom caps there. And then I've got, that's the Al Capone roast. The Al Capone roast has the temperature probe in it. That actually goes to my phone. That's so badass. It's just so cool. If you've never seen anything like this, it's just so cool. So I'll play it again here for you real quick so you get a chance to look at it on the live stream. But the probe that's in the Al Capone roast is a temperature. It's connected to Wi-Fi. It goes to my phone. It will tell me when the internal temperature reaches 162 degrees. That's just so cool. That is so cool. We are today talking about your best opening day, or what you got going on. Your best opening day. Let's go to, I believe it's Mark. Mark, what's happening, man? What's going on today?
Well, I'm looking forward to opening day, but how about this one? The Brewers' very first opening day. I'm going to try and remember what happened. I was a junior in high school. A bunch of us skipped school, went to the game sitting in the bleachers, and I believe they played the Angels, and I think they lost like 12-0. And I remember in the 8th or 9th inning, one of the Brewers finally got on first base, and the whole stadium gave him a standing ovation.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, what year was that?
It must have been 1970?
1970, yeah. That was their first one at County Stadium. Because didn't they open up the year prior to that? They opened up against, they were on the road. It was, because they started in 69. So didn't they open up a year earlier? I got to check because
well, maybe it was 69 when I went. But I know it was
you're right. 1969, they opened up their very first season on the road against the Angels. 1970, you're correct. They got beat 12-0 at Milwaukee County Stadium in their very first own home opener. You're right.
There you go.
There you go. That's good stuff.
My memory's not that bad.
No, man, you're all over it. I'm impressed. That's awesome. Good stuff, man. I appreciate it.
Time. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks, pal. There you go. Seeing your now that's the first time the Brewers opened up the season at home. The Brewers' very first opening day was a few days later in 1969 when they came back home. But yeah, Brewers opening day 1970, they lost 12-0 to the Angels. 12-0 to the Angels, and that, my friends, is their. I think that's their worst loss on opening day ever. Yeah, that's their worst loss on opening day ever. Yep. 1970. Well, there's something to mark. Because 3 years later, they lost, in 1973, they lost 10-0. That was to the Orioles. Their biggest win, their biggest run production, I should say, which shouldn't surprise you, 1982 on the road. Vukovich was on the hill, and the Brewers had a 15-run outpour. 1988, it was 12-0. They got a win over the Baltimore Orioles at Old Memorial Stadium. Teddy Higuera on the hill for that one. And then they had a 15-9 game that was at Anaheim Stadium, again against the Angels. They've had some big games against the Angels, man. That was a win, by the way. So they've had some big scoring games the Brewers had. Last year they got beat by the Cubs 3-0. The year prior they beat the Cardinals at Miller Park. Last year was a 3-0 loss against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. 2 years ago, Ulysse Chassin went to the hill and they got a 5-4 win. The year prior, they got a 2-1 win. That was against the Padres at Petco, and Ryan Braun hit the home run to win the game. That was a walk-off. I remember that one. Oof, a lot of good ones. A lot of good ones at Miller Park. 877-867-1670, which is now American Family Field. We got to be fair, which is now American Family Field. If you want to send me an email, you can. Simply thebillmichaels@gmail.com, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. You can hit us up there. You can also find us on Twitter, find us on Facebook. Twitter @Bill_Michaels, @Bill_Michaels. And you can also find us over on Facebook, simply facebook.com/The Bill Michaels Show. Rodney on Twitter says, opening day salute to Jim Pick, who owned the Alpine Inn in La Crosse up on the bluff. Jim passed away a week ago. Oh, no. Oh, no. I didn't know that. That is sad. I had actually done some commercials for Jim years ago. Did not know Jim had passed. Man, my heart breaks for that. Oh, did not know it. Rodney, thank you so much for letting me know. Jim's such a good guy, man. Such a good guy. I feel kind of sick. I didn't know that. Feel bad I didn't know. Oh. Hey, in addition to what we're doing as far as memories for opening day, give us your thoughts on wins and predictions. Let's get into that as well when we come back. But man, salute out to Jim and everybody at Alpine Inn today, out there on the bluff, Granddad's Bluff in La Crosse. Oh, breaks my heart. I didn't know that. God, I feel so bad. Let's do this. We'll step away. We'll take a quick break. Come back. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show when we come back. And again, we're going to do some predictions, going to do some thoughts on opening day, some of your best memories from opening day. I want to hear from you. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
High fives, Wisconsin.
Gina Dello from Pella, what's the celebration?
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin was just named NARY's Distributor of the Year.
That's a big deal.
You're not kidding, but there's more. The International Builders Show just named Pella's new Easy Slide Operator Best Window and Door Product of the Year.
Another Pella innovation that eliminates the repetitive cranking motion on casement and awning windows with an easy slide.
A real blessing for those with hand and wrist issues.
Why crank your windows when you can easy slide, right?
But there's still more.
Oh, you 2009 survey rated #1 for highest value, highest quality.
Yes, but there's still more. Now get 5 years, no interest, plus 5 months, no first payment.
Pella now, pay later. High fives all around.
But only through March 31st. Set your free consultation today at PellaWI.com/radio or 855-PELLA-WI.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, The Bill Michaels Show. We are on the air, and we are glad you are here on opening day 2021. Loving it. Loving it. Really good stuff. And they are taking on the Twins today. By the way, the your starters for your Milwaukee Brewers today. Leading off, playing second, Colton Wong, the newly acquired Colton Wong. Batting second, playing first, Keston Hiura. Batting third in left field, the all-star Christian Yelich. Batting fourth in right field, Avisail Garcia. Batting fifth, playing third base, Travis Shaw. Batting sixth in center field is Lorenzo Cain, who did get himself ready for opening day. Batting seventh behind the plate, Narvaez. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Urias. And pitching today on the hill, your starter, Woodruff. There you go. Wong, Hiura, Yelich, Garcia, Shaw, Cain, Narvaez, Urias, Woodruff. Those are your starters for your Milwaukee Brewers, who I predict will win 88 games this season. 88 games this season. Let's go back to the phone calls. Talk to Daniel listening to us in Toma. Daniel, what's going on today, man? What's happening?
One thing is I hope things don't go back to normal because I like the less traffic out here when I go to the cities.
Okay, there you go.
I want everybody to stay working at home. You can go to stadiums, but stay at home. Okay. Number two is my best memory. I don't know how old I was. I saw Hank Aaron before he retired. And he was standing there waiting to go on base or go up to bat, and I was just a kid. And he had the biggest bat I ever seen in my life.
Yeah?
And I was unfortunately, never got to go to opening day. I was watching on TV, but this is just later on. But he was standing there, and I was a Hank Aaron. Just I always thought he was the greatest. Just what little TV we had back in the 70s. We didn't have what we have today.
Yeah.
We had Channel 8, Channel 13, and Channel 19.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I remember those days.
And then I also saw the year that they won 14 or 15 games in a row in California in 1986.
And then they lost, the same amount? Was it 13 in a row, and then they lost 13 in a row or something like that?
Yeah, but I went to the first game they lost was in Los Angeles. I was out there in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
And I saw them and that. And that's about the only thing I can remember. And I saw 8 games in a row in different ones. I saw the year that they played the A's, and I got the autograph of Vita Blue or whatever his name was.
Right.
The famous pitcher.
Yep, Vita Blue.
From there. Yeah.
Yep,
and
you are
stuff
correct.
like that.
You are correct. Good stuff, man. Great
Just
memories.
a country boy from a little town that was population 13 when I was growing up in Clifton, Wisconsin.
When you left town, the population really went down, man, right?
It went right on down. Our family was half the population, it seemed like. There was more than 13. I think it was a total of 26, but 13 was our family.
I was gonna say, if you had 10 kids, you had your whole. You were the town, and it made it hard to date. If you were dating anybody in the town, man, you better find a family as big as yours. Otherwise, you got kids coming out with 3 heads.
Yeah, we were. That was the problem. Is when we grew up, you try to date someone. You're related to me. What do you mean? I'm 6th cousin or 5th. Is there anybody not related to me? That's why I had to leave there and get to the city.
No, I get it. So
lacrosse.
Okay, lacrosse. Okay, I was going to say. All right.
We went from Clifton, Holman, which is north of lacrosse.
Right.
You know that.
Right. Yeah, I know where
Holman,
that's at.
Wisconsin.
Yep. Okay.
So when we grew up, it was all family.
Boy, those town dances, man, they were a little bit awkward, I bet.
They were.
There you go. All right, Daniel, you be good, buddy.
Yep, bye.
Talk to you soon. He drops off, you get on board. By the way, I want to correct something here. So, because, they got snow in Detroit. Cold weather on opening day. And it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, is that rain or snow in Cincinnati? That can't be. Really? That can't be. I don't think they have that down there. Do they really? I'm kind of looking at the Major League Baseball. I have the MLB network on, and they're showing flurries in Cincinnati. Really? They're colder there than we are here? I didn't think so. That's got to be an April Fool's joke or something like that. Anyway, the 1970 Brewers were the first year of the Brewers because the 1969 season was still the Seattle Pilots. That was when they were bringing them over. There you go. It's just an FYI. I wanted to make sure that I got that correct. So the 1970 season, if you go into the history of when you go into the Milwaukee Brewers, list of Milwaukee Brewers opening day starting pitchers, it will tell you Marty Patton was in 1969 against the Angels. But in the 1969 season, the Seattle Pilots was the only season the Seattle Pilots, a Major League Baseball team, played, an expansion team in the American League, along with the Kansas City Royals. The Pilots were placed in the newly established West Division. That was the Pilots. That's part of their history. So it wasn't 1969 because the team moved to Milwaukee in the spring of 70. It became known as the Milwaukee Brewers then. But considering that franchise still has those records tied together, that's the reason. Okay. I thought it was 70 when I saw this. I'm like, maybe I'm wrong, but I had to do a little digging. During the break because I wanted to make sure I got that right. 1970. How are we looking? Good stuff. This one's from Doug. Says, what about going to Miller Park and or American Family Field and drinking and eating in your car since there isn't any tailgating? I don't. We talk about tailgating, I think tailgating in the sense of grills outside, throwing balls, throwing football, throwing baseball, chairs outside, bags outside, stuff like that. If you're going to take food and put it in your car and eat in your car, there's nothing they can do about that, right? You're not tailgating. You're just sitting in your car. I mean, what would the difference be if you're sitting in your car eating a burger versus sitting in your car talking on your phone? You know what I mean? James says, I just looked at the radar. It's not an April Fool's joke. There is snow in Detroit and in Cincinnati. Wow. How about that? We are nicer weather here than they are there. Detroit, I get it. Detroit, that's coming off the lake in that area. Okay, whatever. But if you got the wind blowing in the opposite direction, but Detroit is about the same climate we have here, and that's not even really near a lake. That's not even on the lake. Detroit isn't. In the meantime, Cincinnati, that's south of here. That's southeast of here. I didn't think they were supposed to be that cold. So who knew? Who knew? Detroit's actually on a waterway. They're on right there in between. What is it? I guess you could call it Lake Erie and Lake Erie. There's a lake that goes. That's a waterway that goes through the city there. What is that? Is that I don't know what the hell it is. Is it? It's a lake something, Lake Saint something. I can't remember what the hell it is because it comes off of Lake Erie. Lake St. Clair. Thank you very much. Lake St. Clair, and Lake Erie, right there where Detroit is. The little waterway, the riverway between the two. Okay, I can see a little bit of that snow if you got some breeze, I guess. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Let's do this. We'll step away. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, more of these opening day stories. I got a lot of good ones that people have been sending in. So I want to give some more of them. Give us your predictions as well. I'm going to get into all of that when we come back also. We'll start talking more and more of predictions. And we'll also get you caught up as to what's going on around the rest of baseball. If there's any here 2021, enjoy it. Kick back, relax, and just enjoy yourself. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Welcome back to the program, the Bill Michaels Show. We are on the air. I'm sorry about the view on the Bud Light live stream. Apparently Elmo moved and stuck his big butt right in the middle of the camera. So I apologize for that on the dog cam. It's opening day 2021. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling it today? I know I am. I love today. The sun is out, and it doesn't feel outside as I've been running out checking on the food. It doesn't feel nearly as cold as it has been, or at least as it was predicted. I mean, they were saying today's high was only going to be like 38. And when you stand in the sun, now if you're in the shade, it feels a little cool. But when you're sitting there and you're looking or you're standing in the sun, it's a little bit nicer. It's a little bit nicer. I rather enjoyed it. Enjoyed it big time. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to chime in, feel free to go ahead and do so. By the way, and this one's from Sam, and I did not see this, but I'll take your word for it, Sam. Hope it's not an opening or an April Fool's Day type of thing. He says, saw a ranking of Major League Baseball managers today. Had Craig Counsell 8th overall, 2nd in the National League behind only Roberts. So there you go. I would say deserve it. Got a few pictures of the parking lot and some fans pulling into Miller Park. Great stuff. It's not the same. It's just a lot of cars that are parked, nobody outside of them. People walking around outside, and I guess once you get inside, you got to put a mask on. But they're working on Miller Park and getting it ready for the gates to be opened. Oh, if they are not already, I think the gates, don't they open up an hour and a half or 2 hours early? So it should be, because some of the people that have sent me pictures are from inside Miller Park, and there aren't fans in the stands yet. I just don't know what time they're letting them in, so I couldn't honestly tell you. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Let's go to the phone calls. Talk to Chris listening to us in Eau Claire. Chris, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
Morning, Bill. I've got two opening day memories.
Yeah.
The first one was when streaking was in vogue. And
yeah.
The rumor going around County Stadium was that some Marquette students had collected some money to pay a guy to streak. So about the 6th or 7th inning, a guy goes running with just a pair of tennis shoes on from the third baseline, across the infield, into center field. About the time the security got to the center field wall, some fans were pulling him up by his arms, and the security had him by his legs. Eventually, security won. They parade him out to the pitcher's mound, waiting for the police to come, and somebody gets a brilliant idea to put a clear plastic bag over the guy.
Oh, really?
Why they didn't use a darker colored one. Yeah, so he is standing on the pitcher's mound naked, and they bring out a clear plastic garbage bag to put over him before the police hauled him away.
Okay, I was going to say,
opening day
what did they put the plastic bag over? Just him and the naughty bits, or his entire body?
It was like you were wearing it as like a raincoat.
Oh,
they
boy.
cut a hole for his head.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to say they at least cut a hole in it for his head, right?
Yeah. The other opening day memory I had was also in the early 70s, and I could walk down to County Stadium from where I grew up, and there had been a big winter snowstorm a few days before the opening day, and my friends and I got the idea to stand up on Story Parkway, which is up a hillside from the parking lot, and throw snowballs at all the people coming across the bridge leaving County Stadium. And it eventually turned into a big snowball fight.
Well,
I remember Tommy Harper, Danny Walton, all the original Brewers.
That's fantastic. You know what? And I'll tell you this. I know snow has been a part of many opening days. I'm never a fan of a story that has an opening day snowball or snow in it, but when you get snowball fights, that's not too bad. I'll go with that. I'll tell you what, it's just not opening day when you got snow flying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there were some belligerent drunks that didn't take kindly to it.
Yeah. Oh, no, I can see that. Absolutely. There you go.
Good
stuff.
Like listening to your show.
Appreciate it, pal. Talk to you. That's Chris listening to us in Eau Claire on our fine sports talk station, 105.1 WAYY. Love that. Let's get back to it. Let's talk to Pete. Pete, welcome to the program, man. What's happening?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, buddy. What's going on?
You got me thinking about opening days and County Stadium. The first story I got for you, I'm not positive this was an opening day, but we used to get all my buddies and I would get together and we'd get cheap bleacher seats and go watch games, and we'd go for batting practice. And we'd take one of my buddy's little brothers, we'd hold him by the ankles and dangle him over the outfield fence, and he'd be able to pick up all the balls that were making it to the fence.
Oh yeah.
And one year they were playing Boston. Fred Lynn was a center fielder, and Fred Lynn came over and grabbed a hold of my buddy and started pulling on him. So we were playing tug of war with my buddy, and he stole his hat, gave him a Boston hat, stole his Brewer hat, and took the rest of batting practice with a Brewer hat on.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were yelling at him to get the hat back, and Jim Rice came out of right field. He was kind of grumpy back then, but Jim Rice came out of right field, came over. He grabbed a hold of my buddy's little brother and stole his wallet, and actually had his wallet for the first inning. He gave it back after the first inning.
Is that right?
We were giving him a good hard time for a little while there, but
that's great. That's fantastic. That was back in the day that there was actual interaction, where you actually could talk to the guys and have fun with the guys and do that kind of stuff. Now, something like that happen where your buddy's wallet gets stolen, people be calling the police and trying to have them arrested on the field during the game and videotaping it and trying to claim harassment and suing people. Man, those were the days. I hate to say that because it makes you sound old, but those were the days when you could do that kind of crap, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Really quick, I'll get off here. But I got one other quick story. This one was definitely opening day. We went down. We were tailgating, walking around. I couldn't tell you. It was early '90s. I don't know who they played or who won. There was beer involved. But at one point, we were tailgating. We looked up, and the security guy drove by in a golf cart. He parks the golf cart right outside County Stadium and went in through a locked door. But he left the keys in the cart. So me and a friend jumped in and started driving around the County Stadium parking lot with the security golf cart. And we came across these 5 girls who said, "Hey, we need a ride on the other side of the stadium." So we picked them up. We had like 7 people in this golf cart falling out, beers flying everywhere.
That's awesome.
All of a sudden, I look in the rear view, just over my shoulder, and here comes the security guard with one of his buddies. We had a slow motion chase all the way around the County Stadium with me, my buddy, and 5 girls. We finally found where they wanted to go. It was a big tailgate. We pulled in, jumped out, scattered to the 4 winds, and when they got there, they just took their cart and drove away and never said anything to us.
That's awesome. That's good stuff. Appreciate it, pal. Talk to you soon. There you go. You the man. That's Pete. Got his good stories. After the top of the hour, we're going to keep it going. We got quite a few people on hold. Irv, you're going to come up next after the top of the hour, so hang in there. And Scott says, I feel better if I was drinking a beer out on the deck right now watching the food cook. I agree with that. Austin says, hey, Bill, listening to you here in Virginia, getting ready for the first pitch. Prediction, Brewers take the Central on the last weekend of the season. Cards are going to finish second. I hope you're right. Says, remember going to opening day a few years back and it felt like tailgating at Lambeau with snow. That was he says, at Miller Park. A lot of people calling it Miller Park. I think I slip as well. I slip all the time when it comes to saying it. It's going to take a while to get back into the nomenclature of calling it American Family Field. What else do we have here for you? This is from Bob, and Bob says, my first opening day was with my dad. Couldn't wait to get into the ballpark. It was Old County Stadium, walking through the aisleway and seeing the green grass, even though it was a cloudy day, made me excited. I'll never forget it as long as I live. You could always smell that smell of those roasted nuts, hot dogs, and beer. The first thing I wanted to do every time I got into a game is get some of those heavenly roasted nuts, and it's still a tradition to this day. The first thing I do when I walk through the turnstiles is walk in and get myself some of the heavenly roasted nuts. I go get a beer abroad. I find my seat. I buy a scorecard and a program all the time. It's just the experience. It's the tradition. Baseball needs more fathers to take sons, more mothers to take daughters, more families to go keep score and be involved in the game. That'll be what saves baseball. There you go. Good way to end this hour. 2 down, 2 to go. Food is cooking. We'll go out and pop open the grill. Let you take a look at it coming up here shortly. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. And don't forget, if a lot of the stations switch over and they start carrying Brewers baseball, and you want to stay right here and continue to share memories, go to madcitysportszone.com. That is madcitysportszone.com, and take a listen. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, it's opening day for Major League Baseball. Brewers going to get things going this afternoon against Minnesota at American Family Field. And for the first time since the end of the 2019 season, there's going to be fans in the ballpark, roughly 12,000 being allowed in. And it's something President of Baseball Operations David Stearns can't wait for.
I think the word that you're hearing most from everyone is just excitement and optimism. Look, I'm genuinely excited to watch a game with our fans in the ballpark. I can't begin to imagine the excitement level of our players to play in front of our fans again.
Milwaukee comes into the game off a productive spring. While that doesn't guarantee anything for the regular season, Stearns likes where the team is.
Given some of the performances we had last year, having guys going into the regular season with a really good frame of mind, with confidence, with belief in themselves and each other, I think there is a degree of importance to it. I know as well as anyone that this can all change in one direction or another after a week. So I recognize that, but I do think we've got a number of players on both sides of the ball who are feeling really good about themselves right now.
It'll be Brandon Woodruff on the mound for the Brewers. The Twins counter with Kenta Maeda. First pitch at 1.
Well, delicious dinner and possibly $10K. That's $10,000. That's a good day. It's Quick Trip's take-home meal sweepstakes. Try our chicken bacon mac and cheese, spicy chicken penny, spaghetti, and more. Buy with your rewards card, and you could win $10,000. No purchase necessary. See stores for details. Dinner, fresh from our kitchen to heat and eat in yours. But let's be honest, they had me at $10K. The take-home meal sweepstakes from Quick Trip. We got dinner covered.
Well, the Bucks snapped their 3-game losing streak last night with a 112-97 win over the Lakers. Milwaukee got 53 points combined from Giannis Antetokounmpo and Drew Holiday. They're going to continue their 6-game road trip tomorrow in Portland. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Hour number 3 of the program, and it is a good day. It's opening day 2021. The Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Minnesota Twins at American Family Field coming up a little bit later on today. Your starter, Brandon Woodruff's going to take the hill for the Crew, and the lineup is this. Wong at second, Hira at first, Yelich in left, batting third, Garcia and right, Travis Shaw at third, Kane in center, and he is batting 6th. 7th is Narvaez. 8th is Urias. Woodruff on the hill. He is batting 9th. 1:10 first pitch at American Family Field later on this afternoon. And a constant reminder that if you are going to stay with the program and you want to continue to listen to us, maybe you're watching it at home or what have you, then all you got to do is go to madcitysportszone.com or any of the streams on any of the affiliates that carry the show. Any of the streams, give us a shout. Give us a shout. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. This is from Jim, who says, called into work today, told them I planned on being sick later. My boss said, what do you mean? He said, I'm going to drink all day and watch baseball. My boss said, have a nice day. I got a great boss. Thanks to Dave. Listen to the program all the time. Dave, you the man. You the man. Good stuff. Janet said, out on the road, and my husband sent me this picture. Oh, it's a beautiful shot of Chavez Ravine, Dodger Stadium. That's nice. Good picture. I appreciate that. Listening to the program out in California. In California. This one is from Jackson, who says, did you see the Packers? Packers tweeted out earlier, good luck, Brewers. As a matter of fact, I did see that. It just crossed. It was like just seconds ago that I saw that. I just retweeted it, as a matter of fact. Little symbiotic relationship there between the Packers and the Brewers. Like it. Like it a lot. Boston Dave says, one of my best memories was watching the Brewers. I was in Milwaukee. I was watching the Brewers, and Jeremy Burnitz was at the hotel in the morning picking up some friends that were in from out of town. He sat down and chatted with us for a little bit. A really nice guy. One of my best opening day memories ever. I'm a Boston Red Sox fan, and grew up just north of there. But I got to tell you, as a traveling salesman and somebody who had a chance to go to a game in another market, it was always cool to see the Milwaukee Brewers take a place in my heart for opening day. And it was all due to Jeremy Burnitz. How about that? I used to love it when Davey Lopes used to call him Jeremy Burnitz. Jeremy Burnitz. Oh, the Jeremy Burnitz there. Yeah. Remember that. Good stuff. Got a lot of great ones. So if you want to keep them coming, keep them coming. We got a lot of people that are on hold as well. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Let's get back to the phone calls. Let's talk to Irv. Irv, welcome to the program, the Bill Michaels Show. What's going on, man?
Yeah, just 4 years ago, I had a trifecta. My oldest daughter took me to Arizona for a 5-day spring training thing, and then she got tickets to opening day, row 17, right behind home plate.
Awesome.
Which was great. And then she got tickets to the second game of the playoffs that year. So it was a great year.
Yeah, I bet. Very
Thanks
cool.
Thanks to my daughter.
Oh, that's awesome. Those are great memories, man. Appreciate it very much. Appreciate it very much.
You bet.
877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. This one is from Jason. Jason says, 1992. Unit, how you doing? We were at Milwaukee County Stadium. They were playing today's opponent, the Minnesota Twins. Bill Wegman was on the hill. The Brewers lost, but I ran into a girl there that I knew from high school. We ended up talking, and later out in the parking lot, we ended up making out for about an hour. Security came by and tapped on our windshield, or on our window, because the windshield was all steamed up. He says, that girl, she ended up becoming my wife, and 2 years later, we got married. 1994, you got married then. So it was 1992. Bill Wegman was on the hill. I'd have to go back and look at that. There you go. Lincoln says, do you remember a guy that pitched for the Brewers named Ricky Bones? I remember the name. I can't remember when he played. That was in the 90s as well. Said he started against the White Sox on opening day, and I bought a Bones jersey. I got a Bones jersey. How are we looking on the Bones jersey? Oh, that's awesome. I barely remember that. I remember the name. Michael says, listening to you, I'm going to be unable to watch baseball. They are not my provider. I know that. Did they ever? I don't think they've ever worked that out, have they? I don't think the Brewers and the distribution companies have all worked that out with Fox Sports Wisconsin and such. So I don't know. What did you, Michael? What did you normally watch it on in your area? 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to chime in, give us a shout, 877-867-1670. Hit us up. We're looking for your predictions, looking for, also, in addition to that, looking for your best opening day story. So give us a shout there. This is Michael. Michael says, hey, Bill, great show. I think 88 wins is about right. Give or take a couple of wins either way, depending on injury. But I think the Brewers are going to be better than what people expect them to be. They're going to be an above 500 team. Christian Yelich is going to have a big season. I'm predicting 36 home runs for Yelly, 22 for Keston Hiura. Please write it down. I've got a bet with my dad. We're driving down to the ballpark right now listening to you. Can't wait to hear you guys tomorrow talk about this one and get us ready for the weekend. Yeah, the Brewers aren't playing tomorrow. Brewers don't have a game tomorrow. They have 2 games, one on Saturday and one on Sunday, but they have that. I guess they could start off with a 4-game series, but they don't have a game tomorrow, oddly enough. It's going to seem a little weird with no baseball on a Friday once the season gets underway. But they always have that extra day, if you will. And the Brewers not in action tomorrow. There's a lot of teams that aren't in action tomorrow, as a matter of fact. About half Major League Baseball is not in action. Then they're back at it on Saturday, obviously. The Brewers with a 6:10 first pitch down at American Family Field. And then on Sunday, it's a 1:10 first pitch again. And then Monday, it's the Cubs. Monday, it's the Cubs. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the Cubs come a-calling. There you go. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Maeda, by the way, on the hill today for the Twins. Just so we got it for you. Not that wasn't announced a while ago, but wanted to make sure we got it out there for you. In case for those of you that are playing along at home, wanted to make sure we kept you up to date. This is Cheddar Balls who says, no longer can you watch baseball on Fubo TV, YouTube TV, Sling, or Hulu. Bally Sports needs to get with it. Let's see here. Yeah, it was Ricky Bones, but it's pronounced bonus. It's like bonus. Yes, I get it. By the way, the first pitch has been thrown. The Yankees and the Blue Jays in a very cold looking Yankee Stadium. And it's a smattering of fans. It's good to see. In New York, even. New York, for a long time, was a hot spot for COVID. But it's good to see fans in the stands. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. First pitch has been thrown. A ground ball out, and the baseball season is officially underway. I'll tell you what, you look down the lines, there's not a lot of social distancing going on down there. Like I said, I think after a while, you're going to have more and more fans filtering into the stands and into stadiums, and probably by the end of June, into July, it's going to be, it'll be back to capacity. That's just my thought. But it's good to see fans in the stands. I'm sitting here watching it and looking on the outside deck, on the outfield deck in center field on the camera in Yankee Stadium. There's fans gathered standing around. So it'll happen. Hang in there. It'll happen. Without a doubt. Randy writes in the email inbox, he said, great show today. A lot of great memories today. My baseball memory of opening day. My dad took me to the corner bar. How are we looking? He said, son, we're going to go down and have a few beers. And that was the first time I ever drank with my dad. I was 14 years old. He gave me 5 sips from his beer. And then he's got in parentheses, I have to admit, I think I felt the buzz. I sat there and ate pretzels and peanuts at the end of the bar and watched the game while my dad and his buddies all BS'd about the team that year and how good Bambi's Bombers would be. He said, I think that the teams never really got that good. And then just after that, they started firing people and getting rid of some of our favorite players. One of my saddest days was to see Paul Molitor leave. What a good memory. Boy, 14 years old going into the bar with your dad. That would be cool. I remember, when today's day and age is a little bit different in the sense of you can go, because bars are now pubs and a lot of them have food. So, it's no big deal to take your kids, take your family, whatever, to a bar and eat if it's got good food, for the most part. Now you don't usually take your kids into a martini bar or something like that, but yeah, I remember the corner pubs, man. My dad would go, and I remember riding a bike in the summertime. If my dad would ever have if I didn't have a baseball game on the weekend, or like all the dads were getting together, it was maybe 2 miles away. I would ride my bike and I'd go walk in the door and look around and think I was so cool going in there, like it was some adults only thing, like I was just going to see like debauchery or something, walking into the pub, like ooh. And then you walk in and there's dad and his friend sitting at the end of the bar, and same thing, having a beer, all kind of spreading manure, That was great. Great memory. I love it. Eric says, screw social distancing. Throw that first pitch. I've been waiting for this way too long. Yeah, today is kind of an emancipation day in some right? It really is. Today is the day that you get, not only are we, Today means so much for so many reasons. Baseball is back, okay? Baseball always brought with it the thought of spring, summer, warmer weather, especially, I mean, obviously, if you live in the cooler climates. Spring, summer, baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, cookouts, going to the ballpark, sitting in the sun, you name it, all that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff. That's what baseball has always meant. But this year, man, it is really snowing in Detroit now. Holy crap. It's coming down. COVID can't last through that. Let them in. But this year, it means a return to a sense of normalcy. With fans in the stand, you'll hear people in the background during the call of the game. It's just, it's so cool that this is what we're going to get back to. This is what baseball this year, I think, means more than anything. It's the return to our sense of normalcy. And as the season grows on, it'll continue in that facet. It just will. And that's the reason I think this year, the anticipation for baseball this year is so much more. I think originally that opening day and then putting the restrictions on it, here's a damn originally, I think as we sit here today and the sun is shining, and yeah, it's cool. It's cooler outside. That kind of sucks. And we're not tailgating. We're not at the ballpark. But I think today's opening day, baseball on the tube, fans in the stands, I think there's a more important meaning today than in the here and the now. There's a more important meaning today than, say, 2 years ago for baseball, because it was just another opening day. This year, we're coming out of a pandemic. We're coming out of COVID. We're coming back into a sense of normalcy. I think baseball means a lot right now. I really do. Let's do this. We're going to step away. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll not finish up, but we'll take more and more and more your stories, opening day, predictions for the Brewers season as well. I want to hear all of it. All of it. Stay tuned. Got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's coming up, and it's coming up right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
You're grateful for all the ways technology can connect us. Unfortunately, there are online scammers who want to take advantage. Malicious viruses, phishing scams, and identity theft are more prevalent than ever. That's why Rural Mutual includes cybersecurity protection as an option on every policy.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, and our friends over at New Mount Medical Center bring you this portion of the Bill Michaels Show. The original they are. They are the original, treating guys with ED, erectile dysfunction, all over the state, beyond the borders as well. And others have come out and come along, but there's only one, the original. And when you're doing something right, that's when others try to emulate what it is you're doing. So you know they're the best. That's New Mount Medical Center, the medical experts, helping guys with ED. They've got a 98% success rate. That's a 98% success rate. And when it comes to low energy or brain fog, or if you're moody, you're up and down, low energy, that kind of thing, they can help you out. Maybe it's low T, low testosterone. They help me out with that. And if you're over the age of 30 and you're kind of listening to what I'm saying and you're going, yeah, you know what? That might be something. Over the age of 30, get it tested. It takes about 15 minutes. No big deal. Stop in, see what they can do for you. Then there's the all-in-one weight loss program. As people start to come out of COVID and they come out and they look and there's the sun and you do the stretch and you realize that you can't even see your feet anymore. Yeah, you might just want to jumpstart the all-in-one weight loss program. And it really, really, really does work if you just stick with it. And it's not like you got to stick with it for 10 years. It's just do the program, get the jumpstart. A whole new you. That's what you're looking for, and especially with summer months coming right around the corner. We're going to get out and about and start doing things again. You want to look good, feel good? Call our friends over at New Mount Medical, 414-455-4451. That's 414-455-4451. That's our friends at the New Mount Medical Center. Again, 414-455-4451. Give them a shout. They're just really good people over there. Again, 414-455-4451. Cheddar Ball says, what's the capacity at American Family Field? Isn't it, I think, about 3,000 to 7,000, something like that. I don't know what the exact capacity is. 25% of what, 38,000? Do the math. I don't know. We're doing math on the air. But that's what it is, 25% of 38,000. So the capacity is, standing room only can get you close to 40, like 39 or 41. I think they've squeezed in there before, but it's probably, I don't know, what, maybe 10,000, I guess, 7 to 10,000 fans, something like that. So anyway, this is from Christy. Christy says, my best opening day memory ever was my boyfriend and I went to the opener at Miller Park, the very first game there. We took the Steny shuttle over. My boyfriend got so drunk down at the bar, he forgot to get off the shuttle. The doors closed, and he ended up going back to the bar. He texted me and said, where the hell are you? I said, I'm at the ballpark. You slept through it. He and I ended up breaking up, but ran into each other 2 years later and met again on the same shuttle. Ended up dating after that. We now have 3 kids. Wow, good for you. You didn't conceive him in the back of the shuttle, though, did you? Just saying. Or was it a one-shot thing where you had triplets? Where just, that day turned into some kind of a drunken nightmare on the back of the Steny shuttle, and next thing you know, bam, triplets. Now you got to pay for 5 rather than just 2. I get it. I get it. Hey, my buddy Boone's Farm listening to us. He says that his tradition of opening day, he's never been to opening day. But the tradition is listening to Euchre on the opening day broadcast. He's listened to every one since 1996, he says. That's our buddy Boone's Farm. Good stuff out there in La Crosse. listening to us on the mighty WKTY out there. Robert says, where are you going to go after you get off the air? Are you going someplace to watch it? Yeah, I explained that a little bit earlier in case you missed it. Kristen's coming over. So her and I are then going to turn back around and head towards Milwaukee. But there is a private cigar club that we belong to. And they're having kind of an opening day thing. And there's a bunch of clients and business people and everybody, but it's a bunch of good friends too. And they're all getting together. And they're smoking some stuff outdoors. So we're taking our food and they're smoking some stuff outdoors. And then they're doing brats and hot dogs and all that kind of stuff as well. So we're going over there. I got a couple of really good cigars and we're going to go over there and just enjoy it. Have a good time. So that's what we got going on today. Your best opening day story. This was from Jason, who says, one hit. We got one blanking hit. Who cares? Nobody's listening anyway. That's Euchre. A lot of major league drop-ins today. I love that stuff. You're all over it today. Love it. Love it. Mark says, one of my best opening day memories was 1994. He said, do you remember Cal Eldred? I do. Cal Eldred was a hell of a pitcher. You thought he would end up with a better career than what he actually did. But yes. Said the Brewers were on a tear that day, hitting home runs like crazy. They ended up winning the game, scoring, I think, 11 or 12 runs. And it was just a fantastic day. And I took a couple of shuttles down. We all met. We tailgated in the parking lot. My buddy had bought a grill. It was still in the box. Another friend of ours brought hot dogs. I brought a couple pounds of ground beef. We ended up making the hamburgers and cooking it all right there. It was one of those little Weber grills. We left it there because we didn't want to take it back, and it was hot and dirty. So we ended up going back to the bar, and our great story was we bought a grill and left it there. How many people have done that? Bought one, and not even an actual Weber. It's just one of those cheap-looking Weber grills, those little hibachi-looking things, you know. Just had a little base on it. You throw some coals in there and a little grate on top, and that was it. And they were $6, $5. You're like, not even going to keep it. People have left it there or thrown it away. This one's from Jason. Jason says, I ended up going to see the Brewers on the road in 99. They took on the Cardinals. They won that game, and I got to walk out of there flipping the bird to many Cardinals fans. Brewers got the win 10-8. You didn't make friends down there, did you? No, you did not. No, you did not. This one is from Jack. Jack says, hey, Unit, one of your favorite people opened up on the road, and I was there to see it. It's a beautiful place, AT&T Park. They took on the Giants, and it was Jeff Suppan, got shelled, lost 10-6. You know what? That's a beautiful. It was back when it was SBC, it was Pac Bell, it was AT&T Stadium, PNC, or no, PNC. PNC is in. You said AT&T, right? Yeah, that's AT&T Park is because PNC is Pittsburgh, AT&T is San Francisco. I think it's still AT&T, isn't it? But it started out, it was Pac Bell, and then it was something else, and I don't know. It's changed names. So that's the one thing I hate about naming rights is they do change names. Because remember, it's Miller. What is it? Minute Maid now? Minute Maid Park? Because Enron had bought the naming rights, and then Enron, the company, the pyramid scheme collapsed, and Enron lost everything. So they were out of it. And therefore, the new stadium down in Houston went from Enron to Minute Maid Park, I think is what it was. 877-867-1670. Where are you? Come on. Let's go. Bring it. Got your best opening day story and predictions. I'm trying to keep it on the the baseball vernacular today. G-Dub says, where's the outdoor bar? Should have done it from the Tiki Bar today. You know what? Being a little bit cooler. I just didn't want to do it. Didn't want to go outside today. We're grilling though. We're grilling here at the bottom of the hour. We are going to give you the look as to what's coming off the grill because right now, let me check my phone here. Check my phone. The internal temperature of the Al Capone roast right now is 154. We got about another 9 to 10 degrees to go, and we're going to be good to go. and then I'll pull it off of the grill. Oh, good stuff. I can't wait. So not this commercial break, but probably the next commercial break. We'll go down and get it. Loving it. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show, which is coming up. Your best opening day memory and your predictions for this upcoming season for the Milwaukee Brewers. What do you think they're going to do? 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Again, 877-867-1670. More to come on the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Bill Michaels Show. We are here. It's opening day. I'm watching home runs fly out of Tiger Stadium in the snow, and it's snowing like it's the end of the world there. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. It's coming down. You got the Yankees right now. They're playing the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays get on the board first. It is 1-0 Blue Jays, top of the second right now. Blue Jays with runners at first and second, and nobody out. So there you go. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Taking your best opening day memories. Also getting predictions for this season. Jim and Chautauqua. Where's Chautauqua? Is that over there near Eau Claire? Or no, is that Rice Lake? That's Rice Lake. That's up near Rice Lake, I think. Anyway, he says, we were at opening day about 5 years ago. I brought a baseball glove and I put beers in it. Euchre came by and signed it when we were standing outside the loge level where he goes into the radio show. So you didn't bring the beers in, or did you bring the beers in your glove? Because if you brought the beers in your glove, man, somebody didn't do their job. Because I didn't think you were allowed to bring beers in. But if you're walking around with beers in your glove, well, then, by all means, you the man. That's great stuff. That's great stuff. I don't care who you are. 877-867-1670. Talk Beast. Billy Mike, what up? Good stuff. Jason, you the man. And Jordan says, lots of great opening day memories, but today might be the best one, as my wife and I are finding out the genders of our twins. She's a Twins fan. I'm a Brewers fan, so it's very fitting for today. Hopefully they take after their dad, and we'll have 2 new little Brewers fans. That is awesome. Jordan, best of luck to you, man. That is great. I love stuff like that. I just do. Fires me up. Keith, listening to us in Stevens Point. Say hi to our buddy Joe Martino up there at Point Brewing, by the way. Home of Cider Boys. He says, Brewers 91 wins. Christian Yelich 43 dingers this season. Best opening day ever 2 years ago. And then he says, why? Just because I got to go. I had never been to an opening day up until that point. Just the enthusiasm, the spirit, and the drunkenness of it all. Really had a great time. That's Keith listening to us in Point. Keith, you the man. Good stuff. Great stories today. Great predictions as well. I say the Brewers are going to win 88. I think the Brewers are probably going to come in second. I think St. Louis maybe wins 89, 90 games this season, but 88 wins by the Brewers. Brewers come in second. That's going to be enough to put them into the wild card. If I'm going to have to predict the rest of the division, I'm going to say the Cubs end up with, say, 86. The Reds end up 79. The Pirates end up 64 wins on the season. It's not going to be a good year for the Pittsburgh Pirates, no doubt. But that's my prediction for the way the division falls. And I also think that just the Brewers and the Cardinals out of the National League Central are going to be the only 2 teams to actually make it to the postseason. I don't think anybody else is going to make it out of the division. I could be wrong, obviously, but these are all predictions that are sure to go wrong, right? But that's what I'm predicting for the year. That's what I'm predicting for the year. Hey, so during the break, I ran downstairs and I pulled them off the grill. So if you're watching on the Bud Light live stream, Here you go. This is the unveil and follow the boys, if you know what I mean. This is what I filmed when I was downstairs. So this, and my camera was tilted wrong, by the way. So this is the end product. Hot dogs. And look at the guys that are following me. There you go. The hot dogs, Al Capone roast. Look at them. Oh, that looks so good. That looks so good. So good. Play it again for you real quick, just in case you're viewing it. So the Al Capone roast, the hot dogs. There's 5 of them. Yes, I know there's 5 of them. A couple of mushroom caps with Italian stuff, sausage in there, and Parmesan cheese. And the dogs, Elmo got up and followed me down, man. He was not going to miss it. So there you go. Everything's cooked. I'm going to have a hot dog during the next commercial break. I was letting them cool off. But good stuff. Good stuff. Love it. Greg says, many years ago, I had a designated driver that never drank, and the designated driver decided to have one, and then had another one after another one, and then he ended up barfing before you knew it, so ended up in the parking lot, the closest closed gas station on Blue Mountain Road next to a pump, so it looked like we needed gas, woke up there in the morning and made it back safely. Cheers. Greg, you're the man. This was from David, who says, how do you think this year's going to end up different from last year regarding how the pandemic affected things? I think this year's just wipe last year clean. I think there's just way too many good, not only for the Brewers, but I mean, Trout, Harper, Machado, all those guys, everybody had a season that it wasn't great by standards. When you talk about, averages, home runs and all that kind of stuff, it just wasn't good. So I think you can wipe the slate clean. It was just a weird year last year. This year, you got video back in between at bats. They're allowed to go up and down the dugout, up and down to the clubhouse. It's just different this year. Just different this year. So I think it's going to be dramatically different. I think you're going to see a return to normalcy when it comes to players' averages and what it is they do. And somebody may bounce back and have a better season. Some may not be able to recover from what they did last year. But I think overall, as things open up, I think you're going to see more and more people back to normalcy, so to speak. David says, I live there 3.5 hours away, so I've never been to an opening day, but still that's a poor excuse. Taco B says, Mickey and Elmo, the two goodest boys. You saw them in the video there. David says, no, wait a minute. I already read that one. This is from Mark. Mark says, hey, Unit, love the show. Glad you are back on in lacrosse. We drove down to Milwaukee yesterday, and we are in the stands today. We'll take some pictures, send them to you a little bit later. That's awesome. Good luck. That's awesome that you're inside and you get a chance to take a couple of pictures. Good. That's great. Congratulations on being able to be there. And one of so few. I love that. Love it. 877-867-1670. Opening day stories and predictions for the season. Predictions that we could call sure to go wrong. Predictions sure to go wrong. What are they? Give them to us. Keep them coming all day long. All day long. Hey, if you're looking for some other good grilling tips and good grilling meats as the weather warms up, time to get back out, get your grill on. That's right, get your grill on. Our friends at Scholze Family Farms Beef, they want to remind you. You can do it today. Today, you can still get in on this. They're going to guarantee you your supply of farm fresh beef all throughout the summer months by purchasing a 6 or 12-month subscription during the month of March from ScholzeFamilyBeef.com, which means today it ends. So, yesterday it ended, but they're going to give you a grace period. Anyway, so go to ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. That's Scholze, SCHOLZE, ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. Look around to see what they have to offer. But it's shipped from their family farm to your family table. It shows up on your doorstep in a box, big box. You know who it's from. You're like, I can't wait for this. And it's packed in dry ice. The best part about it is this, 2 things. One is it's there, it's fresh, it's there in a couple days, and you've got it. Okay, that's great. But let's say you like to go up north. Let's say you want to take it to a cookout. Let's say you're going to, throw it on a boat, go across on the ferry. You're heading over to Michigan. You're going to motorcycle ride all day. And then after that, you're going to go back to a cabin somewhere. Who knows? You can keep it in the box. It's packed in dry ice. It all stays fresh. It stays cold. It's good to go. It's that good. Or if you're going somewhere and you don't want to carry it with you, they can have it delivered there. How about that? That's our friends at Scholze Family Farms Beef. So go to Scholze, Scholze, ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. That is ScholzeFamilyBeef.com, and see for yourself. Because just try it. Try it once. They've got a kind of like a trial pack. Just try it. Try it once. Good stuff. Take a look at this again for those that have been watching the program all day. There you go. That's the final product. A good grilled Al Capone roast. The dog's tracking me. Some mushroom caps, hot dogs. The hot dogs are going to go to the dogs. Got to let them cool down a little bit, though. Oh, so good. Oh, my mouth is watering. Can't wait. We're gonna do a few beverages coming up in the next hour or two. Guarantee that. Let's do this. We'll step away, take a quick break, come back. It's you and me today. It's all predictions. It is all about, well, it's all about opening day. Opening day 2021 predictions for the Brewers coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Bill Michaels Show. We continue on as down at American Family Field, they are introducing a lot of the staff that works with the team directly. They're being introduced to the field now as we're getting ready for first pitch. and many of the Brewers coaches and such all being introduced. It's terrific because baseball is back. It's terrific because they're getting recognition. What sucks is you're not getting the recognition for coming back during a pandemic. You got 7, 8, 9,000 fans. I don't know how many they have in there, but that are at Miller Park today. So you wish it was opening day and you got 40,000 screaming. So you just kind of wish that there was more people there to see it. 12,000 fans is what they're saying. 12,000. There you go. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. Opening day today. So many people shooting pictures and such. It's great. I love opening day. Rick says 12,000 fans. I didn't think they had that many. I guess if you want to say it's 41,000 that you can fit in there at standing room only. You take 20% of that. So yeah, okay. 12,000 just under. Yeah, I can see that. All right. And that's that's not bad. I mean, I remember go back to the county stadium days. You'd have 53,000 or 56,000, whatever that thing held, on a Thursday for opening day. And then the very next day in the cold weather, you'd have 7. So you'd go from 53 or 56,000 down to 7. And 7,000 fans can make some noise. So you're gonna get a sense of that again. You're gonna get a sense of actual real people, by the way, not that piped in crap that they were doing last year. I appreciated the fact early on that it sounds like a real game, but yeah, no, it that constant noise rather than a crescendo and a different level or a different emphasis or whatever. It was so generic. Oh. It was so generic. 877-867-1670. Let's go to Randy. Randy got some opening day memories. Randy, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
Not too bad, Bill. How are you?
I'm doing great today. Baseball is back. We're closing in on normalcy, man. What's up? Did we lose him? I think we lost him.
I must have lost him, Bill. I heard a click.
I must have just told him we're getting back to normalcy. He was coming out of the hole, saw the daylight. Next thing you know, bam, he was so excited he ran streaking down the street. There you go. 877-867-1670. This was from Mark. Mark says, Bill, best memory of opening day was hanging out at the Pfister, getting autographs from the team early, and then getting down to the ballpark. Always was one of the traditions with me and my buddies, and then racing to the card shop after the fact to find out what they were worth. I'm torn. Collecting baseball cards as a kid, you just love to have them, It wasn't until you got into the adult phase that you really kind of learned that there was some value to those things. But I've been down to the Pfister Hotel when opposing teams come in and seen, it's one thing to say you're my favorite player. And you try to get an autograph from that guy. It's another thing. I've seen those guys standing down there. They've got bags where they're hoping to get 10 things signed and all these cards. And they've got all this different stuff they have. And it's kind of like, and they're doing it for the money. They're not doing it for anything else other than $. And it just... I get it as a collector. Look, everybody loves to have that great card in your collection. And without the people that go and get it signed and then turn it around and sell it and try to make a profit off of it, we wouldn't have any of this stuff. But it bothers me. It just does. I like those guys. I think they're cool. They're pretty much sports enthusiasts, all that kind of stuff. But in the grand scheme of things, it bothers me. Just does. Oh, a nice tribute to Audrey Keene, by the way. Longtime Brewer worker, and Harvey Keene's wife. So she passed away last year, and they didn't get a chance to acknowledge that. So they're doing that now. And Don Sutton earlier this year as well. Don't forget. They're also paying tribute to him down at Miller Park right now. Seating capacity, according to the website, is 41,900, not including group areas, which were included in 25% calculations, thus the 12,000 seats. Interesting. I hate to do this because I'm not that kind of guy, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because I don't do a lot of math on the air. But 41,900, do that by the 25%. That shouldn't be 12,000. That is 10,475. But I guess what you're saying is according to the website, the seating capacity is that, and that's not including the group areas. Then they included the group areas, which gave them the extra 1,000 something %. So, okay, there you go. And they're also doing a huge tribute right now, and rightfully so, to Hank Aaron. And the Brewers are going to be wearing the number 44 patch on their sleeve all season long in honor of Hammer and Hank as well. So really cool. Good stuff. Good stuff down there at the ballpark. 877-867-1670 if you want to hit us up. You can also hit us up over at Mad City Sports Zone and take a listen to the program, as many of you are probably going to be flipping over and watching the game. So watch the game, but listen to the program as we continue to share memories and such all throughout the rest of the day today. I wanted to keep it just baseball today. I know some people are saying, what about the Packers? What about Aaron Rodgers? I know, I get it, but I'm not trying to stay Packer free as much as we can. I know normally you don't do that, but I am. This is from Drake, who said, we were in our 20s. We rented a U-Haul to drive to opening day and tailgate and drink with friends, put everything in the back of the U-Haul. That's awesome. Also, the Tigers and the Indians right now, it is snowing like the end of the world. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Hey, by the way, and I did not mention this, but in case you didn't know, I did tweet it out earlier today. A piece of Wisconsin lore now. Roy Williams, head coach of North Carolina basketball, announced his retirement today. He is retiring from coaching. And so think about this. The last game Roy Williams ever coached was his first loss in the first round of the NCAA tournament ever, and it was the Wisconsin Badgers. Think about that. Little piece of history there. It wasn't like he retired because the Badgers beat him. He was just getting up there in years and probably wants to ride off and enjoy himself. But yeah, it's an interesting piece of lore now for the Wisconsin Badger basketball program. Like that too. We got another hour yet to go. Coming up in the next hour, going to hear from our buddy Kevin Holden, CBS 58. Down in American Family Field, made it to yet another opening day as the Brewers and the Twins get set to take one another on coming up here in just a little bit. National anthem being sung, which, by the way, and I did get a couple of people that asked me, do you think anybody will kneel for the anthem? And my answer to that pretty much was no. And sure enough, both teams down each baseline, nobody kneeling for the anthem today. So I think it should be the biggest non-story there is. There you go. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up. Another hour yet to go. It is opening day 2021. The Brewers getting set to square off against the Twins. Woodruff getting set to take the hill. Stay tuned. We've got a lot more coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, it's opening day for Major League Baseball. Brewers going to get things going this afternoon against Minnesota at American Family Field. And for the first time since the end of the 2019 season, there's going to be fans in the ballpark, roughly 12,000 being allowed in. And it's something President of Baseball Operations David Stearns can't wait for.
I think the word that you're hearing most from everyone is just excitement and optimism. Look, I'm genuinely excited to watch a game with our fans in the ballpark. I can't begin to imagine the excitement level of our players to play in front of our fans again.
Milwaukee comes into the game off a productive spring. While that doesn't guarantee anything for the regular season, Stearns likes where the team is.
Given some of the performances we had last year, having guys going into the regular season with a really good frame of mind, with confidence, with belief in themselves and each other, I think there is a degree of importance to it. I know as well as anyone that this can all change in one direction or another after a week. So I recognize that, but I do think we've got a number of players on both sides of the ball who are feeling really good about themselves right now.
It'll be Brandon Woodruff on the mound for the Brewers. The Twins counter with Kenta Maeda. First pitch at 110.
Hey, honey, how was your day? Well, I brought home a delicious dinner and possibly $10K. That's $10,000. That's a good day. It's Quick Trip's take-home meal sweepstakes. Try our chicken, bacon, mac and cheese, spicy chicken spaghetti. Buy with your good brand. No purchase necessary. See stores for details. Dinner, fresh from market, to heat and eat in yours. But let's be honest, they had me at $10K. The take-home meal sweepstakes from Quick Trip. We got dinner covered.
Well, the Bucks snapped their three-game losing streak last night with a 112-97 win over the Lakers. Milwaukee got 53 points combined from Giannis Antetokounmpo and Drew Holiday. They're going to continue their six-game road trip tomorrow in Portland. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heilprin.
Welcome one, welcome all. It is opening day 2021. The Milwaukee Brewers getting set to take the field. And what an exciting day. What an exciting day. Talk baseball for an entire hour, entire 3 hours leading up to this moment in the program today. And it's just awesome. It's just awesome. Love it. Thanks to everybody for sharing all their stories. You can continue to do so. Keep hitting us up. Keep hitting us up. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to shoot us something, by all means, do so. And if you're going to be watching the game and you want to listen to the show, because I know a lot of stations are going to be carrying the Brewers game today, a brand new website. It is spectacular looking. One of the best websites I've actually ever been a part of. Now, my website itself is about ready to come out, but our flagship station, The Zone out in Madison, 96.7 FM, 1670 AM, hit them up over at madcitysportszone.com, madcitysportszone.com. So you can see the website there. There's a listen live link there, right there at the top of the page. You can listen to the show. It says listen now. Just so many cool things on that website. And obviously the Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, Packers news, all there as well. So just so many really cool things for that website. So if you want to find us, find us. Plenty of ways to do so. Plenty of ways to do so. But I really appreciate the work that they put into that. And obviously there's a lot more to come, specifically with my portion of the website, but good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, a couple of things before we go back to talking about the Brewers, and today opening day, Brewers getting ready to get going. Interesting. So last night, the Bucks knocked the Lakers off, and the Bucks beat the Lakers and snapped the losing streak. And in a pretty solid performance by the Bucks last night, which, the Bucks needed that. Not just, granted, the Lakers are banged up. Okay. It's not like it's this win. The Lakers were at full strength and Aldridge was there and everybody was just hitting on all cylinders, but it was good to snap the losing streak and good for the Bucks to get the win. 112-97 last night. They snapped that losing streak. Andre Drummond left the Lakers debut. He had a bruised right toe last night. So Drummond finally comes in, gets the start, and then he ends up leaving. Holiday dropped 28. The Bucks get the win As I had mentioned, Giannis had 25, Middleton added 17, along with 8 assists, and the Bucks get back into the win column by beating the defending NBA champions, who they're still without LeBron, they're still without Anthony Davis. I had mentioned Andre Drummond. He ends up leaving. He had 4 points in like 10, 15 minutes. He ended up limping off in that as well. So the Bucks center Brook Lopez, he ended up stepping on Drummond's foot, but Drummond said he didn't notice the extent of the injury until about halftime, and then he said it just got to be really, really painful. By the way, the X-ray is negative in that, but nevertheless, he had to leave the game. Bucks Bobby Portis missed his 4th straight game as well under the, quote, safety protocol. They won't say it's COVID, but it's COVID. And P.J. Tucker also missed his 4th straight game. He's got that calf strain, trying to nurse himself back into that, or from that, I should say. So Giannis, though, was kind of cool. Giannis, his 2 brothers all shared the court for 52 seconds, they said it was, in the 4th quarter. Thanasis, Giannis's teammate with the Bucks, and then Kostas is a Lakers reserve. So the 3 Greek brothers also gathered on the court after the buzzer for a hug and a little bit of a conversation. And that's the way that went last night. And so good stuff all around. So the Bucks up next. They play at Portland tonight. Hopefully they can keep the win streak going as the Bucks look to get to full strength. They look to continue to come back, and they look to play even better. As you only have so much down the stretch here for the Bucks. You know, the Bucks they don't have a ton of games left before you get into the end of April. And how many games do they have? I mean, 15, something like that. I can't count. I'm not going to sit here and count. They still have that West Coast swing that's going on because they go to Portland, then on Saturday. So think about this. So they played, excuse me, I said tonight. Tomorrow night they're in Portland. Pardon me. I keep thinking today's Thursday or today's Friday. So they played last night, off tonight. They're in Portland. Then on Saturday they're in Sacramento. Then on Tuesday, so they're off Sunday and Monday. Then on Tuesday, they take on Golden State. Thursday, Dallas, and then they finally come back home to the Fiserv for 1 game, and then go back out on the road for a 3-game road trip. Then they do the brief 3-game road trip. So yeah, they got quite a few. They've got the 6-game road trip, and then 3 more, 9 out of 10 games on the road before they come back home for a little bit of a break, where they got 4 in a row at home. 2 of those on a Thursday, Saturday game. That is going to be on TNT and ESPN against Philadelphia, the top Sixers. Then they got a 4-game road trip, 4-game homestand, and then it goes away, home, away, home, away, and that's the way they end their season. So, but anyway, that's where the Bucks are right now. And as far as the standings go, the Bucks still because Brooklyn is now taking over the top spot by a half game, by the way, because the Brooklyn Nets are on top. And still no word as to what they're going to do about Kevin Durant and what the text messages that he sent out. But Kevin Durant will have to wait and see. Meanwhile, the 76ers are a half game behind Brooklyn, and the Bucks 2.5 behind Brooklyn. So that's where it's 1, 2, and 3 right now over in the Eastern Conference. In addition, I wanted to bring up the fact that Jim Leonard, I thought it was cool that Jim Leonard has basically said, look, one of the reasons he turned down the Packers, said due in part to, quote, unfinished business, but he wants to win a national title. I love it. He wants to win a national title. You know, I give him, and I've said this a lot. There's been some friends of Jim's that I've interviewed over the years, some former Badger players. And I've asked about Leonard a couple of times, and a couple of guys have told me, they said he just loves doing what he's doing. Not to mention he's probably in line to be the head coach should Paul Chryst ever decide to call it a career. But Leonard said, said it a lot of times. To me, there's some unfinished business with the University of Wisconsin. I love this group of kids. I want to continue to develop them. With COVID being the way it was last year, I felt a specific way about myself having left after that season, but I'm excited about being in Madison. I think we got a great opportunity this coming season. Unfinished business. I love it. I absolutely love it. Obviously, it's a huge opportunity, he said, very humbled to be in the conversation for that position. It's an organization, obviously, being from the state, I know a lot about and have a tremendous amount of respect for the way the organization operates. They're right on the fringe of a Super Bowl, and they've been for a while now. Definitely a difficult decision to have to make. He said, I came here wanting to win a national championship. I came here wanting to win the Big Ten as a player. Nothing has changed as a coach. We haven't done that since I've been back, so the goals have not changed. I feel that we have a group, as a group, that can accomplish that. Things have to go well. We have to play good football, much better football than we played last year. That's the challenge every day. I love that. I love it. I love it that he wants to stick around. I just do. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, please feel free to go ahead and do so. You're probably following us, if you're going to be watching some Brewers baseball. Follow us over on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch TV. You can always drop us an email, the old-fashioned way, if you want to call it that, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. That's thebillmichaels@gmail.com. And thanks to Mark, listening to us in Marshfield on WOSQ. Mark says, my opening day memory was a few years back. My grandmother had just passed, and she had a friend who was a friend of somebody in the front office of the Brewers. Euchre mentioned her on the radio. My entire family began to weep openly as we were watching the game in the background, as we were all talking about the memories of my grandmother. It was a terrific time in our lives. That's really cool. I like that as well. By the way, did you know Bally's is now the main sponsor of the broadcast? Bally's is. So the Brewers being announced, but Bally's, as I'm watching Sophia Minert, Bally's is the main sponsor. And I saw their logo on the front of the desk for the pregame, and it's all over the microphones that Sophia Minert is using, the giant B for Bally's. So Bally's, the Bally's Sportsbook. I think it's the Bally's Sportsbook. I don't think it's the Bally's Fitness Center anymore. Those things went bye-bye. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to listen or chime in, whatever, bring it. This one's from Mark. Mark says, my favorite opening day memory, going with my family. There were 8 kids in our family. To opening day, Dad took us all out of school, brought us down in the station wagon, and we all grilled out. Everybody had burgers and hot dogs. My sister, who doesn't like anything on her burger or hot dog, just ate a piece of meat in her hand. He said he's got hashtag weird. She ended up having her first beer with my mom, got a little buzzed, giggled and laughed through the entire game. We had a great time. Great childhood memories. Good stuff. Mark says, look it up. Brewers founded in 1979, not 1969. Correct? We talked about that a while ago, Mark. You're late to the table. Just an FYI. You must have missed some in between. Mark's pounding it. 70, not 69, 70. I know, they were the Seattle Pilots in 69. But considering they went from oh, that's right. Bally's bought out Fox, didn't they? That regional aspect of it from Disney. I forgot about that. Which Bally's has such a big expanse as far as a parent company goes. But that's right, I forgot about that. There you go. Just more names to change around. American Family Field, it's not Fox Sports Wisconsin, at Bally's Network, and you got to change all that around, and new parks coming on and new sponsors. Boy, it's tough to keep up, right? Tough to keep up. Jacob, listening to us on Hilton Head Island, getting ready to go play some golf, listening to the game, listening to your show on Facebook. Absolutely love it. Makes me feel like I'm at home. I'm missing opening day. Can't wait for next year. I'll be there. How about you? We'll be there next year. That I'll give you. We'll be there next year. You bet. Love it. Can't wait. First pitch did not go off at 1:10. Just an FYI. We're a couple of minutes past that. We'll keep you up to date. Don't forget, coming up at the bottom of the hour, in case you missed it, Kevin Holden from CBS 58. Traditionally, we talk some Brewers baseball. We talk about the National League Central. We give our predictions. All of that is coming up just after the bottom of the hour. In the meantime, stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show to come right after this.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. Bill Michaels Show. We continue on Minnesota with 1 out, man on second. As we've had our first pitch. And by the way, I was talking before about Bally's. I completely forgot about that Bally's had bought with Sinclair. It was a whole merger thing. They bought and got rid of the Fox Sports regionals. So now it's Bally's. And the question was, is it the Bally's Casino? It is. They're all under like an umbrella. They all have the same logo. So it's Bally's Sports is what it's called. And yes, to answer your question, it's Bally's Sports. And Bally's has many different entities, one of them being actual casinos. I mean, physical walk through the door casinos. So Yep, the gambling age of sports is now in full force. I mean, gambling is taking place all over. We all know that. We all know that we all thrown down a couple of dollars here and there on many different things when it comes to, say, the NCAA tournament. We've all spent time in a sports book, and we've all put a few dollars down on our team to do the over and under thing on wins for a season or whatever. But yes, to answer your question, Bally's Sports and Bally's Sports Book and the casinos, they are under the same company. They're all part of the same brand, so to speak. Once things opened up, the money was there and they could get involved with sports. So yeah, you knew it was, right around the corner. So I forgot about it until I saw the Bally's logo. I knew it wasn't the old Bally's gyms, which also, by the way, had the same logo. They started getting rid of those a while ago. But yeah, to make a mention, I was kind of kidding, but no, the old Bally. I think there might even be some old Bally's gyms around. They just not too long ago got rid of the last one in my old neighborhood. But I think there still may be a couple of Bally's gyms, maybe towards the West Coast, that are still there. But beyond that, most of them have gone by the wayside. But yeah, Bally's is now more into sports than they are into health and fitness, so to speak. So 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Landry says, Bill, love the program today. All the old memories. This is awesome on opening day. This is what it should be. There's plenty of time to talk Packers, Badgers, and Bucks, but I'm glad we're talking a lot of baseball today. Thanks for all the memories and having a lot of fun listening to it on the radio and watching the game on TV. That's Landry. Appreciate it. Thanks for the email. Great stuff. 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, feel free to do so. Mark says, where can I get a hold of you listening online? All you got to do is either on the streams, which is Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, on YouTube television, subscribe to our channel, or on Twitch TV. But you can also go to madcitysportszone.com and find us there. If you're listening to me, though, you're listening to the show. I don't need to tell you that. You know what I mean? So if you're listening to me, I don't need to tell you that, because you already know. You've already figured it out. It's that simple. Michael says, one of my best opening day memories was coming to Milwaukee. He lives in Green Bay. Coming to Milwaukee from Green Bay, staying overnight downtown, going out, running the bars, having a lot of fun, not having to get up too early the next day, getting to the game, and enjoying a good tailgate with a lot of friends, and then heading back home. I loved it when my parents started that tradition of pulling us out of school the day before. We would always spend a night at the Ambassador Hotel. This year I didn't get a chance to come down there, but now my friends and I have stayed either at the Pfister or over at the Hyatt. I hear the Iron Horse is good as well. Any thoughts? The Iron Horse is a spectacular hotel. I love it. It's just tough to get into because it doesn't have a lot of rooms. But I love if I had a hotel to choose, I'd either go the Pfister or the Iron Horse. Either place, you cannot go wrong. Absolutely beautiful. And the Iron Horse is very unique because it was originally built as it's right next to the Harley Museum. It was built as kind of a biker's hotel, a finer biker's hotel. So fine dining, great drinks, great atmosphere, but you walk in, it's an open European style lobby where everything's right there, pool table and everything at the bar, but they serve really high-end drinks and martinis and really good food. But I mean, even the giant American flag that they have hanging on the old brick wall in the old foundry area is made of jeans, in case you've never gone up close to touch it. It's made of jeans, old jeans. I mean, you can bring your dog to that hotel and everything, and they've got a lot of bike parking spaces out front. Those aren't car parking in the circle, in the circle right out front. It's for motorcycle parking. And by the way, one of the best lounge bars, outside lounge kind of patio bars in the entire city. So yeah, if you're gonna spend some time, Iron Horse is great. Pfister's awesome. If you want to go for the absolute upscale of what the city has to offer, the Pfister is good too. But there's a lot of little places. St. Kate, the artsy place, is really neat, a little more sophisticated. But then, you can stay on the outskirts. You can stay in Brookfield. You can stay in Grafton. You can stay in Mequon. You can stay in all those areas at just one of the smaller, little chain hotels and still have a good time. But yeah, that's great. That's great that it's great that you have that memory and have that tradition still going from your family. I like that. This is Detroit Dave says, yes, I was glad to hear that you actually figured out it's on Lake St. Clair in Detroit. Snow is coming down. My mom said it's going crazy. woke up to a few flurries, she said, and then the snow is going to accumulate throughout the day. There you go. Detroit Dave. Meanwhile, I've got Mark listening to us in Janesville who says, my dad made the trip today into town and actually went to the Brewers game. He was lucky enough to get tickets from a buddy of his who did not want to use them. His mother had been suffering from COVID and didn't want to go without his mom, who had been going with him for the last few years. She is going to recover, and he's got hashtag no problems, or not hashtag, but parentheses, no problems, but just didn't feel up to it today. So my dad got the tickets. They are there. Should be a really cool experience now that we are, quote, returning to normalcy. Love it. 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, do it. Mark is listening to us in Dubuque, Iowa. Says, great show. Love listening to you and all the Packers talk. I am also a Twins fan, so I've got a double interest in Milwaukee today, hoping the Twins win. But I hear Milwaukee has a tremendous ballpark. Have never been to Miller Park, which is American Family Field now. Have never been to Miller Park. Would someday like to go. Are you ever going to have a listener outing? I would love to be a part of that. You know what? We used to do that for the affiliates. I don't know. I don't think we're doing one this year, but I would say we'd look for something in years to come. But we are going to do a listener outing. There's going to be a chance to win some tickets, and we are going to do a listener outing, but you got to keep waiting for the details. Got to keep waiting for the details because it's going to be fun. We're going to have a really, really good time at this one. And as a matter of fact, if this all comes together the way I think it is, yours truly, I'm not bringing the Traeger grill. It takes too long to smoke stuff, but we're going to be doing some grilling. Oh, yes, we're going to be doing some grilling. You bet. Cannot wait for that. Going to be doing some grilling for me and I don't know, like 50 of my closest friends, I guess. Yeah, we're going to give you some chances to win and have some fun this year. Lisa says, hey, Bill, I watched the podcast last night. What a great cause. That was, by the way, I never even mentioned it. Go over to my Facebook fan page or on Twitter or YouTube, whatever. Last night, it was the Happy Hour podcast. And I think, my apology, I think I mislabeled it when we started it. So if it's not labeled properly, I apologize, but it was great. Sat down and talked with the retired Vice Admiral of the Navy, Dirk DeBink, and he is now, he's from Wisconsin. Has a business out in Okauchee, but he is also the president of Fisher House. It was a terrific conversation. Shared a lot of stories and a lot of terrific information about Fisher House, Wisconsin for military members, veterans, their families. Everybody knows somebody or has somebody near them that has been in the military. So if you haven't looked at it already, please go to do so. She says, but you made an announcement about your motorcycle ride. I thought it was really, could you expound on it? You know what? I will. The motorcycle ride for the last few years has started at Milwaukee Brewing, at the brewery in downtown Milwaukee. Now, we get a police escort out of Milwaukee, so it's not like you're cruising around on city streets without, stopping at stoplights and stuff. I mean, the police, they take us right through it. It is great. It's a really cool experience. But this year, we want to help out local businesses. So in conjunction with Budweiser and Milwaukee Brewing, they have brought us over to the Rave. Now, everybody knows the Rave. The Rave is a tremendous music venue, and they're hurting just like everybody else because they're not getting national acts and bands aren't traveling. So they want to do something. So they are going to put together an entire weekend leading up to our motorcycle ride where they're going to have antique motorcycles on display. It's going to be like a museum. They're going to put them inside the Rave, the historic Rave, the Eagles Hall, the Rave down there. But they're going to put these motorcycles in there, and they're going to put kind of a vendor area out front and food and music all weekend. It's going to be great. And then we're going to start our ride there. So just waiting for some of the details to come together, but I promise I'll give it to you once everything is finalized. But to start our ride, our motorcycle ride with a police escort out of downtown Milwaukee, benefiting Fisher House, Wisconsin, and for veterans and veterans' families, and to be able to do it from that historic venue is just, every time we do this, I get chills because it just has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger over the years. And it's such a pleasure to do it. And it's such an unbelievable cause. So I can't believe that my name's on it. I am so honored and so blessed. But yeah, it's really, really cool that we get a chance to do that this year. So I'm extremely happy and really, really looking forward to it. Okay, let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Kevin Holden from CBS 58 in Milwaukee, in case you did not get to hear it a little bit Excuse me, earlier I had to burp there for a second. I took a drink of beer when I was during the commercial break before. But anyway, that being said, Kevin Holden from CBS 58, you're going to hear his conversation with yours truly, our predictions for the season and such. That is all next on the Bill Michaels Show.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
I was always a crazy one, broke into the stadium.
Welcome back. Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. I have just been told that the link is now live. So if you go to simply thebillmichaels.com, it's up and running. There you go. Links it right to our flagship station at Man City Sports Zone. Oh, technology. It's the flip of a switch. That's all it is. The flip of a switch. Eric says, today's opening day story. I'm from Buffalo City, Wisconsin, but working in Dallas, Texas. I would quit my job to be at opening day today. Buffalo City, Wisconsin. Where is Buffalo City, Wisconsin? I got to look at that. That is right there on the river. Buffalo City is, by the way, do you know what's in Buffalo City is the Lost Pirate Tiki Bar. The Lost Pirate Tiki Bar. Listening to the program down in Dallas, Texas, but, and that is a ways up. You go up to, well, that's above 90 too. That's, you go from La Crosse and just start paddling north. And you'll run across Buffalo City in the small area of Cochrane. But the Lost Pirate Tiki Bar is what they're known for. Love it. Love it. Kevin Holden from CBS 58. We always get a chance to visit with Kevin every opening day. Always tradition to talk Brewers baseball with him. So, Kevin, how you doing?
Man, Bill, this is it really is a holiday. It's a passage kind of day because, for one, we all made it to opening day, and I think that means something more this year than it has before. But the other is, there's this thing shining in the sky. It's really weird. It's this very bright sort of ball. Right? I think I saw it last in like September, so I'm pretty happy about that too.
So hopefully that is the sun shining on the season that is about to befall us here in Milwaukee and throughout the state of Wisconsin. So give me your optimism, give me your thoughts on this team, and then we'll kind of go position by position.
I think that this may be one of David Stern's finest moments in an offseason because I think a lot of people around baseball, looked overall at the Brewers offseason and thought, well, okay, there really wasn't much there. The Brewers didn't do a whole lot. And then you come back and you look at this team and you think, well, they just added Colton Wong, so they've got terrific defense now up the middle. That's as an old schooler, I kind of like that, this idea of Gold Glove type defense at second and short. You got Jackie Bradley Jr., this depth in the outfield is good. And then you start to realize that a lot of last year was Christian Yelich not hitting for the 2 months he was in the lineup and Lorenzo Cain opting out. And the Brewers still made the postseason. It was not the prettiest thing in the world, but they still did make the playoffs last year. So I feel like if people are sleeping on this Brewers team, they may sneak up and surprise some people in the National League. It's a pretty good bunch.
I like the fact that they have got depth. You mentioned Jackie Bradley Jr. You obviously have Lorenzo Cain that would be in center. You look at what's going on in left field with Yelich and right field with Garcia. and you've got another Gold Glove that can come in for defensive prowess. He can lead off if you need him to. I mean, there's so many different things that they can do, and I think you're going to have some good power numbers coming out of the outfield as well. I'm not overly concerned specifically about the corners like a lot of people are, even though you're not going to get a lot of power out of the corners unless Keston Hiura really starts to light it up. I think you're going to get good numbers, though, power numbers and on-base percentage coming out of your outfield.
Yeah, that group, and you have to say it as a group because it really is a 4-for-3 situation. 4 guys that could start for most teams and only 3 spots, on a daily basis. But that group of 4 is just a great, deep group of bats. The other thing that's interesting is flexibility because through all these off-season moves and what David Stearns has done, he can put a lineup out there like the one he has today for opening day that alternates lefties and righties. So, that makes it a little tougher. I mean, we're out of the one batter era for pitchers, but it does make it tougher for the opposing manager because that lineup is literally left, right, left, right, left, right, all the way down. I think there's flexibility there too. And I kind of agree with you on the corners. And Keston Hiura will learn at first base as he goes. I think that won't be that much of a problem. And if Travis Shaw can find some kind of magic over at third base, then yeah, this team is a 1-7 deep kind of offense. It's pretty good.
You mentioned third base. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of both Travis Shaw and Orlando Arcia over there. Don't you think?
Yeah, and so that goes back to the defensive thing because you've got Wong, of course, at second. You'll have Arcia if he plays short, if he plays third. Either of those bats will be there, and it's going to help from a defensive standpoint, what they would call in this day and age a run prevention standpoint. That would be the shiny new sabermetric term for it. But I think Arcia could get some playing time at third. And I'd love to see that bat come around too, although I know after years we're kind of grasping at straws with that. But when Arcia has gotten his feet right in the batter's box, when he's done well at the plate, he's been a pretty good hitter for this team. So maybe if you get that Arcia, maybe he steals even more starts, maybe some against righties away from Shaw.
What do you think? Do you make anything? Because spring training numbers to me are so mythical because a lot of times they just don't hold up. There are people that start off on fire, and those are your regular everyday players, and they give you hope. But then you take a look at a guy like Keston Hiura, started to give you the power numbers in spring training. Do you think that the way he has looked, not only at the offensive side of things, but defensively, the way he's really kind of adapted to first base, do you kind of get the feeling you're looking at a guy ready to have a breakout season and kind of build upon what he did a couple of years ago?
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it because Hiura is, after a few years now in the big leagues and a little bit of adjustment period to big league pitching, that sort of thing, he's the kind of guy that could develop that extra part of this game. I mean, he hits for some power, but he's not, I don't think you'd say he's known for his power at this point, but it's something that could come along for him. He's still very young, and it reminds me a little bit of the path of an NFL player where that third year is the year where you start to look at other parts of his game to develop. And here is just such a natural hitter, such a smart hitter that extra time in the league, now that he's been up for a little while, he's been around the league, seen the pitching, like it could jump for him, and the power numbers could jump for him. And I just think as just a heads up, smart, instinctive kind of ball player, that the first base footwork will come around. It's not the easiest thing in the world. I think it's tougher than people think, but I think he'll pick it up. And if that's the case, yeah, you're looking at superstar Hiura. That time is probably here.
The pitching staff, we know what Woodruff and Burns can do, so we're just kind of going off of paper there. But who's kind of the linchpin to that? Is it Freddie Peralta actually getting some success as a starter rather than as a reliever? Is it Hauser? Is it Anderson? Who really needs to kind of do something, I'm not going to say special, but kind of live up to expectation for that rotation to really be that good?
Yeah, you've hit on what I think is one of the keys for the Brewers to be not just good, but like October fun kind of good, is they've got to get a third starter that can be competitive, that you can throw out there in a playoff series. And Freddie Peralta is that guy for me, because Peralta is another guy that when you've seen him at his best with the rising fastball, just with his mix of pitches, what he's done, The stuff is electric. He can really get some things done in the big leagues. He did it right off the bat in his debut in Colorado, his first start a few years back. And it made me think that, again, somebody that spent some time with the team over the last few years, that's starting to adjust, starting to get a little bit of experience on him, that he could step in. I think that's your guy. I think you can look at, if you're thinking about September, October in a pennant race, Woodruff, Burns, Peralta, if you can get 1, 2, and 3 and they're hitting on all cylinders, you can find another starter if you need a fourth one. But those 3 will be the key to matching up with some of these other teams come playoff time.
What do you the conundrum for everybody seems to be, what are they going to do with Josh Hader? What are they going to get? If they're in the thick of things, I don't see them trading away Josh Hader. And in fact, I see them going after maybe a piece or 2 that's needed, don't you?
Oh, the thing that I thought was interesting was that they've kept saying during the spring, you've heard David Stearns mention this, that there's some flexibility. In other words, if they want a little money, if they decide that there's somebody that they need to dig into the pockets just a little to pick up, that they can do it. And that's part of what this splash, I won't call it a splash-free off season, but it's part of not spending crazy amounts of money has given David Stearns his flexibility to do this during the year. I 100% agree that if you're talking about a first-place team or a competitive playoff team, when you get to June, July, I don't see Hader going anywhere because the Brewers have clearly valued this bullpen and what it's meant. Devin Williams setting up Josh Hader is a dream scenario if they're both pitching to their capabilities. So, I think they're buyers. I mean, I know it's crazy to say on April 1st, but I think if they're competitive, they're buyers, that there is no selling if they have a chance to make it. It'll be a 4th straight year if they make the playoff. This never happened to this franchise before, right, and they can't let that slip away.
Kevin, what is your overall win projection for this team this season before I let you go?
Let's go. I've been batting this around. They're in a team. I'm going to go 86 or 87 wins maybe. And in the Central of a few years ago, that might not have gotten it done. In the Central of 2021, I think it gets it done. 87, and I think that's going to be enough to win the Central and get them in the playoffs another year. And if that happens, man, October is going to be a blast, isn't it?
It is going to be fun. Yeah, 87 wins, winning the Central. Wow, okay. I might follow you down that path. I because I haven't given my prediction yet, but I'm saying 88 wins this year. That's the watermark that I'm circling. But I think 88 gets you second, not first, in the National League Central. I got the Cardinals winning 89 or 90, and then maybe the Cubs about 3 games behind the Brewers, and then the Reds and the Pirates fighting it out for futility in the basement.
Yeah, I think you're with the Cardinals. One, they're the Cardinals. They'll always be there, and they've added Nolan Arenado, who's great. And I was just looking at the Cubs opening day lineup, and you know what? It's been fun to trash the Cubs all off season. They're going to give people trouble. You have Rizzo, you still have Chris Bryant, you still have Javi Baez. I understand it's not 2016, but don't think that the Cubs are going to be like 15 under 500. They're going to be tough.
Yeah, I think they're going to be better. I just think that they're pitching. They're relying on a lot of people that had great seasons a while ago. And then they get rid of Darvish. They get rid of Lester, kind of that fatherly anchor that was in that rotation. I'm still not sold on Kimbrel being their closer. So I think they've got, in their bullpen, I think is just nowhere near as good as what the Brewers have. So I think that's going to be the Achilles heel of that team, is if you get through the starters a little bit, you get into that bullpen, I think you're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, I don't think that you can rely on Alec Mills to throw no-hitters all sorts of seasons.
Right? All right, buddy, you be good and have a great opening day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bill, man, I love that we're here. Great that we're back to opening day. Thanks for having me on.
There you go, Kevin Holden. It is baseball time. The Brewers right now taking on the Twins, and a no score down at American Family Field. Good stuff. Bottom of the second right now. Brewers getting ready to come to the plate. So exciting times. And like I said, 88 wins. That's where I think the Brewers are at right now. I don't think it wins them the division. I think they end up a game behind St. Louis. But it's going to be an exciting season. If they end up with 88 wins, it's going to be an exciting season. Bet your life on it. It'll be fun. If they get above 90, man, I'll be out of my damn mind. That will be fantastic, without a doubt. Let's do this. We're going to step away. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up. We got some more stories to get to. Some people have chimed in on some of their opening day memories as we'll continue to discuss that. And then tomorrow on the program, we'll just kind of recap today. It'll be an off day for the Brewers, by the way. So we'll recap what went on today, and we'll look forward to the weekend and get you set up for the Final Four and all that kind of good stuff as well. So hang in there. One more segment, the Bill Michaels Show. It's coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. We are glad to have you today. The Bill Michaels Show continues on. Hopefully you're enjoying your day today. The arm you see reaching into the screen. Trying to wake up Elmo. Oh, there we go. Hey, got an email here, and this one is from, who is this from? This is from Todd, listening to us in Milwaukee. He says, at your bar, hanging out and watching the game on TV and watching the show on YouTube. Here's to ya. That is Todd. He's my bar. Are you talking about Sports Bar Stenny's? Or are you like Calderon Club? Or where the hell you at, Todd? Hit me up. Let me know where you're at. Coming up tomorrow on the program, we are going to get back at it, and we'll talk the recap of this game. And then tomorrow as well, we'll get you ready for the Final Four, get back into whatever's going on in the NFL, whatever happens to come our way. So all that kind of good stuff. We'll do all that coming up tomorrow on the program as well. As I had mentioned earlier, you've got Roy Williams, head coach of North Carolina, has decided to call it a career. So we'll get into that discussion a little bit tomorrow, because the trivia basically is with Roy Williams and his career, and he's had a tremendous career, but with his career, the end of his career came at the hands of the Wisconsin Badgers. So always keep that in the back of your mind. Hey, by the way, the NFL today, the competition committee has endorsed 6 potential rule changes for the upcoming season, including a proposal that would expand the scope of replay. Oh, no. We don't need more replay. The change, basically, they're going to add replay. You know why? Because they don't want to pay an 8th official. That's what it comes down to. Sometimes it would be known as the, quote, sky judge, but would give referees a new resource to help make more accurate calls without needing a formal review. So we'll wait and see. Replay officials already empowered to help referees with a limited, suite of information, including such things as, correct time on the game clock and correct downs and things like that. This year's proposal adds to the list: if video available in the press box shows clear and obvious evidence, then replay officials, as well as other members of the league's officiating department, would then be able to advise on possession, completed or intercepted passes, whether a player is down by contact, the position of the ball is relative to the line of the boundary. Okay. A lot of the stuff, that we would normally pay attention to anyway, that already gets replayed, would also come into play here. Coaches are still going to be able to initiate a formal review, such as plays, but other proposals from the competition committee included this. Now, this I like: the elimination of overtime in preseason games. I like that. Allowing a maximum of 9 players in the setup zone, the 15-yard area behind their restraining line, when set up for a kick return. The proposal could make it a bit easier to recover onside kicks, a challenge that has grown harder since the revamp of the kickoff. So the Philadelphia Eagles proposed more radical changes, giving the team an option for one play to gain 15 yards to keep possession after a score, but similar suggestions have failed to receive the votes in previous years. So there's all kinds of things we're looking at. We'll get into the changes in the NFL coming up here a little bit later on. We'll do that tomorrow as well, or some of the things that are being proposed a little bit later coming up tomorrow on the program. So, hey, I did want to give you this, though, before we got out of here today. You got the Brewers right now. They are scoreless, as they got 2 on and 1 out in the bottom of the second. They're scoreless with the Twins, but other games in progress. The Blue Jays and Yankees in the top of the 6th, they are tied at 2 apiece right now. The Indians are trailing the Tigers 3-0 at Tiger Stadium in a snowstorm in the bottom of the 5th. The Pirates and the Cubs got underway a little while ago. The Pirates quickly out to a 2-1 lead in that contest. About to begin first pitch elsewhere. You got the Braves and the Phillies will get underway here in about 15 minutes. And then after that, the Cardinals on the road taking on the Cincinnati Reds at Great American Ballpark. That is going to be Flaherty against Luis Castillo. Jack Flaherty for the Cardinals going against Luis Castillo for the Reds. That's in Cincinnati. Also, you got the Braves and the Phillies. The Diamondbacks and the Padres get off at 3:10. The Dodgers and the Rockies also at 3:10 Central Time. Then the Rays and the Marlins, the Rangers and the Royals. Then tonight, you got the White Sox on the road taking on the Angels out at Anaheim at Angel Stadium at 9:05. The late game today, Astros and Athletics. That's 9:07 at Oakland Coliseum. But the Giants and the Mariners are the latest game at T-Mobile Park now is what it's called, T-Mobile Park in Seattle. But remember, the Orioles and the Red Sox postponed because of rain, and the Mets and Nationals postponed because the Nationals had 5 players test for COVID. So that's where you're at. We're all updated now. That is it It has been a tremendous opening day. Thanks so much for being a part of it. Always, always, always very, very appreciative. Thanks for paying attention to us over on the live stream. For all of you watching and listening to the program as well, don't forget, go to thebillmichaels.com. That is The Bill Michaels, the new website, the new link, all up and running, thebillmichaels.com. Time for us